It's the final day of the 49erFX and Nacra 17 World Championships. Today is when we find out who the new world champions will be in these three Olympic classes for 2025. Hi, my name's Andy Rice, sailing journalist from the UK, and joining me again, reigning Olympic and world champion in the 49erFX.
For a few more minutes until the action starts over here.
Enjoy your last few minutes as reigning world champion. But Adil van Oudhout, I'm so pleased to have you here in the booth again.
Happy to be here.
And we are setting up for another really good day of racing. We're going to get through three classes, and we're going to be starting with the 49erFX. Before we start talking too much about today, let's see what happened yesterday in the big waves. It's the penultimate day of the 49erFX and Nacra 17 World Championships. Here's a recap of the story so far. Today was all about getting solid results to get close to that coveted top four for a chance in the four-boat final on Sunday. Let's see how things went in the 49er men. The racing yielded unexpected winners today, with all of them claiming their first race win at this event. First victory went to US sailors Nevin Snow and Ian McDermott, while the second win went to Isaac McCarty and William Mackenzie from New Zealand. Right behind them in both races were the Danes Jonas Vara and Matthias Lemsleten. After 2 second places, they put the hammer down and won the last race of the day. This victory puts Denmark in 4th overall and giving this new team a great shot at the four-boat final on Sunday. Over to the 49erFX. In the first race, Norwegians Pia Dahl Andersen and Nora Edlund were in a commanding lead, but after a tactical slip on the final downwind, left the door open for the Swedish to swoop in and steal the win. In the second race, the conditions really picked up, and now we saw the 49erFX skiffs in full force. The strong conditions led to a few capsizes and shake-ups in the rankings. First to finish, the unexpected duo of Chloé Reville and Alban Dubois, the first race win of the championship for this French team. The third race went down to a photo finish, with the Spanish pair of Paulo Barceló and Maria Cantero snatching the winner's gun from their Polish opponents. The Spanish maintained their strong performance, claiming a second spot in the last race of the day. This puts them only 2 points behind Sweden's Vilma Bobeck and Ebba Berntsson in the overall rankings. Winning the last race of the day were Jana Germani and Bianca Caruso on their home waters. Things are tight at the top of the FX rankings, with quite a few teams still in contention for the four-boat final. Enjoying a great day today and hoping to advance tomorrow are German Sophie Steinlein and Katrin Bartelheimer, just 1 point out of 4th place.
We've done really well today. We were sailing really consistent. We're currently in 5th position with 1 point to 4th, and we'll push hard to get into the final medal race and fight for the medals.
Yeah, I think the four-boat final is quite interesting. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. You can only drop 1 place. So I think it's quite fair for the sailors, but still good for the media. So yeah, we will see how it turns out.
Tomorrow we find out who will be the 2025 World Champions, and that will be a climax you just won't want to miss. Yeah, so some really big waves yesterday caused some trouble. If you get a chance to see the Instagram, there is a collision between two of the 49erFXs between Australia and Poland. That is already almost 1 million views. It was quite spectacular, not long before the finish. Anyway, we haven't got long before the next start, but I just want to play you this video with John Gimson, who explains the reasoning behind the format you're going to be watching later on today.
Yeah, so we heard the format for sailing is changing for the games, and there's been a lot of discussion about winner across the line. So we wanted to try and come up with something which, if we really have to have winner across the line, which as a class we don't necessarily believe in, we wanted the fairest way to do it, which kind of came back to the qualifying medal decided in the moment and the medals not decided in colour.
Yeah, so John Gimson made it clear there that they had their hand forced in a way because there was going to be quite a harsh winner-takes-all kind of four-boat medal race. And John Gimson and most sailors, you would say, don't really want that. If someone sailed well throughout the week, they won some kind of reward. But there is this insistence from the TV side of the world that they want to see the winner of the last race across the finish line as being the overall winner of the competition, the gold medalist. And that's quite difficult to come up with a format that's done that. This four-boat scenario that we're going to be seeing later on today is, I think, a reasonable compromise. But I feel like you never really know these things until you see them in action. So today we see the rubber hit the road, and is there anything we haven't foreseen? I sort of quite like it. It's impossible to meet those two objectives completely in a satisfactory way, but I think this is a reasonable compromise.
Yeah, so for anyone new here, we're trying a new format today at these Worlds. First time we've ever used them. We've done qualifying, we've gone Gold Fleet racing. We're now into the final day. We'll start off with a 20-minute race, 20 boats. Umpired. Umpired means that there will be juries on the water watching the whole time. If the sailors feel that someone has fouled them, they can protest. They will pull up their red flag, and the jury will decide immediately whether it's green flag, nothing happens, or they award a penalty to one of the boats. And that means no more protest after racing. The results of this race will be final, and all deciding for who gets into this top 4 race that we will see later today, where we will decide who is the world champion. It does matter in what sequence you get into that 4-boat race. So everybody can only drop 1 spot, or they will remain in the same spot. But the person who wins that race will win the world championship title. So boats are definitely still fighting to get into that race in top 1, and we're going to take a look at the rankings to see who is in favor.
So really important to notice just how close it is between Sweden and Spain at the top. They've got a big jump ahead of the rest of the fleet, and a deal. That means that Sweden and Spain have guaranteed a medal of some colour, but it's really important who comes out first in this race. So Spain's going to be pushing really hard on Sweden to see if they can overtake and get that yellow bib from Sweden going into the 4-boat race, because whoever comes out on top at the end of this race is going to be guaranteed a silver medal at worst.
Definitely. So very exciting for them, and they can race with a little bit of risk this race because no one can catch up to them anymore. It is really, really, really exciting who gets into that top 4 race, and we've got a couple of contenders. We've got Canada, the Wins-LaFrance sisters. We got Freya Black and Saskia Tidy. We got Sophie Steindlein and Katharine Batterham from Germany, and then we've got the home favorites, Jana Germani and Bianca Caruso. These are the top 6 teams who are battling to get into that top 4 race, and it will be a tough battle, especially for Jana Germani and Bianca. They will have to sail a stellar race if they want to get above that red line.
And even if they can't win the world title, you can be sure that in 7th place, Martine Grael and Kunze are going to be sailing as hard as they can to win this race, as will everybody else. But those double Olympic champions from 2016 and 2020, not been happy with their week, finally happy to have a better day yesterday and haul themselves up to 7th place. But it just all came a little bit too late for them to be challenging seriously for the medals.
Yeah, they definitely showed what they were worth. They have a 4 in their sail now. They were 4th at the last Worlds, and they have so much depth of quality, and they have a great team bond built up over those years. I can imagine they're fighting very hard in this last race. We only got 2.5 minutes to go. Breeze came right on time here in Cagliari. We got a beautiful, I'd say about 8 knots out on the race course. Not fully powered yet, but definitely enough to sail and to make these boats go fast.
Yeah, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for getting all our races in today. It's going to be FX starting soon, then 49er once we've decided the FX medals, and then we're going to finish the afternoon with the Nacra 17 foiling catamarans.
Short reminder, start is between the 2 boats with the orange flags. We see a red and white checkered flag up. That's the U flag. That means in the last minute, no boats can go over the start line. Otherwise, they are risking a disqualification.
And at the moment, everyone fairly close to the line. They booked their spots quite early. There's a little bit of a fight at the committee boat end on the right-hand side of your screen. Who is going to get that favourite spot over on the right-hand side? Always nice to win one of the ends. Adil, why does winning an end of the line matter so much?
It gives you a bit more free space. So if you're at the pin end, you have no one underneath you and you can sail your own fast mode. If you win the race committee, you can always have the possibility of tacking away if you do lose your rein and go attack that right side. Another reminder is that normally we sail 25 to 30 minute races, and now we're sailing a 20-minute race. That means that it will be more action-packed for all the athletes. There will be less room on the race course and they'll need to fight for the start. And the start becomes extra important because you got less time to catch up if you have a bad one.
Less than 1 minute to go now. They're still very, very close to the line and they can't afford to go forwards too soon.
I like where GBR is lined up. They still have enough space towards that pin end and they are sure of making it, but they are bow front. If you're now still bow back towards the boat around it, you really have to fight. We see Sweden reversing their boats, potentially going for a port-tack start, or they're going to have to work really hard to get back into a gap because right now they are in 3rd lane of boats.
Okay, so worrying times for Swedish fans. Will they be able to sort themselves out in time? Sweden sailing along underneath.
Going for a port-tack start, tacking there, choosing to go their own way. 9 seconds to go. People are lined up very close. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and we're off. Really tight starts by the Danish in the bottom and the German team up top. I wonder if they were just a little bit too early or if that timed that perfectly. But it must be really nice for this young Danish team to pull off a start like that in the final race.
And Sweden managed to get a good start out to the right despite losing their lane. So they managed to salvage a really good start. And now the question for them is, are they going the right way up this windward leg? Where is the best breeze going to come from? And it's Sweden claiming the right so far, and it's Denmark looking good on the far left.
And the Spanish team of Paula and Maria, who they are in a fight with for that first spot, they did not have a great start. They are fighting to get clear air there, but they're a bit on the back foot. I would prefer to be Sweden right now, going my own way. I also see a nice patch of breeze there over on the right and over on the left. A little bit less breeze in the middle. Let's see how this works out.
It's been called a clear start by the race committee, so we've got all 20 boats still in play, no one disqualified. And really nice breeze, looking like they're pretty stretched. And if we're getting up to full power conditions, we know the Swedes, back of picture, tend to be fast in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, they love these conditions. Vilma is very good, very technically very good in this wind. And I'm sure she's showing Ebba the ropes, and Ebba is doing a great job so far this week. Looks like really tight lanes going out here to the left. Everybody really working on their boat speed to stay in the lane. The Danish got a free spot here, but if they tack, they don't have right of way. So they are waiting for the rest of the pack to tack away until they can. So they're in a good spot for their own speed. But they're also going to have to be a bit patient. You see the skipper looking back, maybe even communicating to the boats around them, like, hey, come on, let's go. Also see her working that jib sheet to get over the chop. They're going for attack. Very important now. Can they cross in front? Really tight with Belgium. Not the best tack, but they managed to pull it off. And quite easily in the end, go ahead. Wow, what a great start by Denmark, and what guts to be able to tack in front there. And so far it looks like the left side has been working out. The Swedish have to go behind a couple of boats here and going to have to work hard to get back into the fleet.
We see the Swedish and the Spanish, Spain 21, now Spain 76. So we got our two leading lights on this side of the racecourse. Remember, the battle for first place is between Spain 76 and Sweden 77. And we got those two boats over here. But I wonder how the Danes are doing on the far side, because they've had a great start. They tacked across the Belgians and the rest of the fleet. And now we're on the converging course to see who's going to come out ahead between right and left.
At the moment, we see that Canada 71 and Italy 3 are above the red line. That means that as it stands right now, they will qualify for that top 4 race. And it's GBR 24 lucking out, but we see the numbers jumping around all the time. That means it's really close at the moment. And we're going to have to wait until this upwind mark to see who gets out in front. You see the two sides of the fleets almost identically together again. And it is, in the end, Sweden again who managed to find a free line, fought for that free lane, and they will be lining up against the Danish from the left side.
Yeah, and if Sweden is already on ley line, then they're doing really well. We don't yet know if that's the case, but it's close. But even so, Sweden controlling their side of the racecourse. And I would say in control of Spain 76 at the moment, which is the boat that they will be keeping their eye on. And there we see the converging course. Denmark pretty much slap bang in the middle of your screen, looking good on port tack. France 84 looking like they're good. France 84 think that they have managed to tack on the ley line, and if they have, that's really good for Chloé Reville and Alban Dubois, but they are not one of our contenders.
Here we see the Polish team of Gabi and Hanya tacking out underneath the fleet. Great boat speed, great moment for tacking, really tight on ley line, so they're going to have to work into that hide mode to try and make it through to the top mark in one tack.
Really stacking up on this starboard ley line. It's getting really busy. Brazil coming across next. Brazil now tacks, so there's a lot of overstanding on this starboard ley line.
And everybody's tacking. It's a really hard decision there. Either you tack in front and try to make that ley line work, or you have to duck all of these boats. But I think this is going to be really hard for the teams who tacked in front to still make it. It's going to be really tight. Let's see if they make it.
Super close for this nearest boat to the windward mark. It's one of the Danish boats. I think it's Denmark 207. Are they going to be able to squeeze, because they haven't really got the space to do anything else?
Ooh.
Oh, it looks like they might hit the mark. They might have hit the mark there. Denmark 207.
Yeah, they hit the mark and they take their penalty straight away. And it ends up being the Polish team rounding the mark in first, followed closely by Belgium and by Denmark 13. But most importantly, by Sweden ahead of Spain, which means that right now they are looking to go into that top 4 race in first position. But it's very close racing here, so anyone's game.
So Sweden managed to jibe set out, and it was a bit messy for them getting through all the bad air, but they managed to do it. And I think importantly for them, Spain 76 was forced to follow, really. So it's a bit messy for Sweden, but it's possibly even messier for Spain, who are fighting for the top 2 places.
And we can see the beautiful maple leaf in the sail of the Canadian girls. They're in the top 10. That should be more than enough to get them into that top 4 race. Currently joining them there is the German team of Sophie Steinlein and Catherine Battelheimer. And it's the British. Oh, it just flipped around as I was saying it. So it's a really tight battle between the British and the German. And right now, the Italians really got some catching up to do if they want to make it into this final race.
Difficult, sloppy conditions. Sweden managing to just about flop over the front of a wave, but it's quite sloppy and choppy out there. Difficult to keep the boat speed consistent.
Yeah, you see a lot of accelerations and stops, and you see the Norwegian boats just flying over that Danish boat with their blue spinnaker. That's going to be tough for the Danish, taking that penalty at the upwind mark, even though they were so close to rounding it in first, and then now getting eaten by the Norwegian and possibly even the Spanish, forced to jibe out now.
The Swedish, meanwhile, on the left of screen have already jibed out, and then on your right of screen you can see Spain 76. That is the boat that was hoping to close the gap points-wise with the Swedish. Spain carrying on a little bit further out towards the other side, but we're back with Poland 14, Poland 74, And Poland 74 currently leading this race.
Bang on a ley line towards that gate, hoping to keep their first place in this race. But they are unfortunately no longer in the race for the four-boat final.
They started the day in 17th, Gabriela Szapska and Hanna Reichert, sailing a fantastic race right now. They got quite a gap on the rest of the fleet as the Polish drop the Jenica and round up to go towards the left-hand side of the second upwind leg. Canada look like they're going to get down in second. That's surely going to secure them a spot in the four-boat final if Canada manage to hang on to a top two or a top few in this race.
Yeah, and great downwind by Canada. Very clean. Sailed their own downwind in clear air. Coming in hot at the gates. Here Sweden, they have to give room to Norway, which they do. And now they are heading towards the second upwind in this race.
And importantly for them, Spain just to the right of picture, getting that blue Jenica down and jibing around the same mark as the Swedes. Spain still following Sweden around the race course, and that's making it relatively easy for Sweden to defend their lead.
And it is messy around that mark. We see the Italians nearly stopped at the bottom gates, but we also see the British are quite far behind. I wonder what the standings are right now for getting into that final race. The British tech right around that mark. Are they following the Italians to try to keep them out? And also, where is Germany 17? Because they are also still fighting for that top four spot.
So a lot to play for the last two places. Or we could probably say the last place, because Canada, barring some kind of disaster, is going to go through in third place into the four-boat final. But there is quite a scrap going on for that last spot.
Yeah, definitely. And this morning there was only a 1 point difference between boats in position number 4, the British boat and the German boat. So whoever crosses the line first, either of them will get into that top 4.
Sweden has managed to stretch out underneath into clear air, underneath Norway's bad air. Meanwhile, we're back with Canada, and there's the live rankings. Let's see how things look. Canada clear in third. Germany currently very clear in fourth, and quite a drop down from the rankings for Italy, and I don't even see Great Britain on that list. So, there they are, Britain, as I say that. Britain are back in fourth, so it looks like it's very close between Germany and Great Britain for that fourth spot.
Very, very close indeed. And we just saw the Canadian girls. They love these conditions. The crew, Antonia, is super strong. We call her a beast. Huge biceps. And you could see her sheeting the main sheet perfectly.
Norway and Sweden fighting out this way. Canada coming across on port tack.
This is a tight cross here for Canada. They have to be clear ahead. If they if they're not clear ahead, they choose to tack out. They probably thought they weren't going to make it in front and didn't want to duck those meters and head out towards the left side of the racecourse, where Poland is still far ahead, and they're in a real speed battle here between Canada, Sweden and Norway.
And they've still got ley line to play with here, Norway, Sweden and Canada. There's still pretty much in the middle of the racetrack. And then way out in front, Poland 74 on the far side. You can just see them top right of picture. There's our update on the rankings again, and it looks like Great Britain and Germany are still in a real close battle right now for that fourth spot.
Yeah, definitely. And you can still see all the boats packed close together. They're both going to different sides of the racecourse. The British have gone to the left, trying to find their luck there, and the Germans have gone to the right. So we'll only really know when they meet again towards the top wind mark.
There's Great Britain. Freya Black and Saskia Tidy in clear air, going fast.
And I was just talking about Antonia's biceps, but Saskia's right there with her. You don't want her when you're near you when you're hoisting the kites, because she's probably gonna outrun you towards that. We see them working the trapeze. They are getting lower in the wire, putting more power on the boat to accelerate the boat forward.
Yeah, beautiful tack by the British. Is it going to be enough, the way they're sailing, to be able to get ahead of Germany. It's so close on points between.
I wonder what's going through their head right now. They probably knew that they just had to finish in front of the Germans today to get into the top 4 spots. We have not seen them match racing the Germans, but they have chosen to sail their own race. Let's see how that works out for them.
It's quite a height difference between Freya and Saskia, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And together they make a nice team. I think Freya is great coming from other types of boats into the FX. Saskia has gone to many Olympics already for Ireland and now for GBR, learning Freya the ropes, but they've been a team for quite a while now, so very in sync together. And we've got a really tight battle here for all the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th places, while Poland is quite far ahead, looking beautifully there. Looks right now as if Germany has found a bit of an edge on that right-hand side. Let's see if we can get them into view and see if they cross in front of the British at the upwind mark.
Poland possibly even above ley line as they are about to tack round the pink mark. And Poland still in the lead. Here's another angle on Poland as they go round the windward mark, still really comfortably in the lead.
And while it's great for Poland to be leading this race, all the boats we're looking at are Sweden, Spain, Canada, GBR and Germany, all fighting for that top board for final. Sweden daring to push it in there, while Norway has misjudged the ley line and has to tack over again. Round
goes Denmark in 3rd, Canada in 4th, looking still good for a spot in the final. Ooh. And in amongst there is Spain 76. Ooh, what do you see? Some mess for Norway?
Oh, some mess for Spain. I think Germany had to avoid collision there with that tack from Spain. I wonder if the umpires have seen it and if they're going to judge anything on it. But the boats we're looking for is GBR 24 and Germany 17. Italians coming around the top mark also right there, but for now GBR is in front of Germany, which would mean that they're securing their spots into the top 4 final.
So Germany 17 going round with a bunch of other boats, and all that Great Britain can do with the yellow Jenica hoisted to the left of your picture is go as fast as they can. They've got a couple of boats in front of them, and Germany 17 just getting their Jenica up now, and there's some boats between them.
Yeah, an interesting tactic here by the British, jibing out. They could have stayed on the starboard tack, just defending their spot against Germany, but they're still choosing to sail their own race, jibe away into clear air, opening up an opportunity for the Germans to overtake if this right-hand side of the downwind ends up paying off.
So Germany 17 going out to the right-hand side as we look at the final downwind leg, and out of picture going the other way is Great Britain number 4.
Ooh, and we see the Polish there in a lot of breeze, and it looks like they're already overstanding the ley line, sailing a boat into a really fast mode, even though these boats are a bit of a lighter breeze. So you see still different breezes over the course. Germans sailing in a bit of lighter wind right now, and they're hoping to pick up a gust so they can jibe towards that finish and hopefully still catch the British.
Well, if the Polish, if they've overstood
by a lot.
By a long way. Wow, big misjudgment. I mean, even Sweden looked like they might be struggling.
Times for the Germans to jibe, and as we say, they make their jibes looks like bang on towards the ley line. That's something you need to get right if you want to have the chance at overtaking the British.
Is this going to be another opportunity for Sweden to steal a win because of somebody else's unforced error? We saw this yesterday. Poland still flying that Jenica. Are they going to carry it all the way, or are they going to be forced to drop?
Let's see, here's a look at the British. This is hopefully their final jibe towards the finish, and after that they will have seen if they have done enough to get into that top 4. And remember, even if they go into 4th place, they still have a shot at the world title.
Spain with the blue Jenica, and behind them the yellow Jenica of Great Britain. Spain definitely going through to the 4-boat final. Britain fighting all the way to see if they can. And just ahead at the finish, we see Poland dropping their Jenica. So it looks like Poland has managed to hold on to the win. Sweden crosses in 2nd place, securing their spot at the top of the standings as they go into the 4-boat final. So Sweden in pole position.
Yeah, and I already see some fist bumps in the air as Canada is crossing the line. They have also secured their place in the final together with Spain. And I have to be honest, it's great to see the teams who are going to be battling it out for the medals also being in the top of this race. As we see Great Britain crossing here in a solid top 10. Really nice comeback from them this race when it mattered most. A big hug between them. That's beautiful to see. What a relief for them. All this pressure, and they did it.
They did it, but not by much. Just 4 points as it stands, with Germany 17 still to cross the line. Oh, that's Germany. Sorry, that is Germany. Just crossed.
And they must be gutted, but they still had their best performance by far at a World Championship. So I hope they remember that later. But right now, they'll not be feeling too happy.
No, they were so close. But then some really other big teams that haven't made it through. Italy 3 would have been hoping to make it through on home waters.
Yeah, and Italy 3. Jana was third at the last race Worlds, so she must have really been gunning for a medal here. Unfortunately, too little, too late.
And Brazil had a great day yesterday, but for the double Olympic champions, Martin Grael and Kunze, now both competing in SailGP, they just didn't get enough practice time in before these Worlds, and we didn't quite see the best of them. And there are the commiserations on board the German boat. And Sophie Steinlein and Katrin Bartelheimer still can look back proudly on a really well-sailed World Championship.
Chatting with their coach. I see the coach even getting his hands out. With his hands, he's showing both positions, already talking about tactical and strategical errors that they might have made in this race. I hope he also gives them a pat on the back, because these girls will be gutted right now.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
deserve a little bit of
should have
love.
gone left. Oh yeah, whatever. I mean, you don't want a tactical debrief, right? Then do you?
No, there's definitely time for that after that, and everybody after these World Championships will have a big debrief with their team, how they want to attack the next 3 years towards the LA Games. But it's also a moment to take a little breather, because they had a big build up the whole year towards their peak events, and it's all coming to a close now.
So now there will be just checking the points and just a confirmation of who those top 4 are going to be, and then there'll be a board go up on the race committee boat just to confirm who those 4 are going to be. But we believe it is the same 4 that started out in the top 4 today. That's Sweden, Spain, Canada and Great Britain, going through to the 4-boat final of the 49erFX World Championship. So now only one of those 4 teams is going to come away disappointed. So everybody else is going to get a medal of some colour.
Yeah, but it is, and people who know that they for sure have a medal of some color is Vilma Bobeck and Ebba Berntsson. Great performance by this team. Also great performance by Paula Barceló and Maria Cantero. So both of these teams, at worst case scenario, the Swedish can get only a silver medal and the Spanish can get a bronze medal. Whereas the Le France sisters are in danger of losing out on a medal. So they really want to win this race. And the people who it's definitely all or nothing is the British. They are in a quite interesting position. They don't have a medal to defend this race. The only thing they can do is win the race and win the world title.
Yeah. What's a little bit surprising is that both the top 2 teams, there's a lot of experience on board, a lot of medals won across either Olympic or World Championships in the FX, but those are both new teams. So it's a little bit scary that newly formed teams that came here saying that they wanted to learn are learning very quickly.
Yeah, but I also know it, and I have to be honest, we say it a lot when we get to regatta. We are being humble, we're there to learn, but I know whenever Vilma comes to regatta, she doesn't just come to learn, she comes to win. Same goes for Paula. She was already world champion in this class in 2020, so they might be a new team, but they're carrying a lot of experience over the years forwards. And here you see Saskia and Freying laughing. They are in a great position, waving at the camera. As I said, no pressure on them whatsoever, and they have all to gain. And as you said, new teams coming in. It's great that we see these mix of old teams, as we say. We see completely new teams coming from new classes, and then we see teams forming new combinations, and a lot of experience remains in the class. For example, the Brazilian pair of Grael and Kunze, double gold Olympic medalists, still in it. They started sailing this boat in 2012. That's 13 years ago, and they're still battling it out at the front.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of a surprise to see them coming back, and I don't know if this is a statement that they're coming back definitely to do another Olympic campaign, or if it is also useful training for SailGP, even though it's a very different style of sailing. But the challenge for them with SailGP is they get such limited racing time on the F50s that this is useful training time for keeping themselves sharp, and even Diego Botín and Florian Trittel, who are currently leading in the 49er, we're going to be talking about them a little bit later on, have still not committed to whether they're actually going to do another Olympic campaign.
Yeah,
they having won a world. I mean, let's say if they never won a world title before. If they win the worlds today, are they gonna not do an Olympic campaign for the next 3 years? I mean,
I reckon they just enjoy sailing the 49er so much. I've heard from a lot of athletes who also sail other boats. It's a lot of fun, but what's really cool also about this Olympic tragic is that you have a long-term goal, and you get to train, and you get to have this focus on the progress, whereas SailGP, professional sailing, there's limited time. It's more often about money than about the results or the quality of sailing. So I hear from a lot of sailors who have stepped out of Olympic sailing that they also really enjoy stepping back in, because you get into a close team with a goal, which, yeah, it gives a lot of value to yourself as a person. Whereas if you're just sailing for 3 days, maybe it doesn't feel as important.
Okay, we will go to a quick ad break, but do come back soon because we're not going anywhere. We'll see you very soon for the 4-boat final in the 49erFX. So we've just seen the conclusion of the 20-boat 49erFX race, and that was to find out who was going to go through to fight for the medals in the 4-boat final. And we've got Sweden, Spain, Canada and Great Britain represented. Germany and Italy just missing out, and some really good fighting from the Danish as well. A number of Danish teams. Early on it was Denmark 207, Rebecca Johannesson and Silja Serup Simonsen that took the lead, but then they didn't quite get round the windward mark and had to take a penalty because they touched the windward mark, and then it all fell apart from them a little bit. But you take those moments, don't you, and you use it as a building block for your campaign. You tell yourself a deal that if you could do that once and get to the windward mark in the lead, then you can do it again.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're a new team, you're not looking yet to be consistent all of the time, but to show that you are able to do it, that gives a lot of confidence to the team and something you can take forward. So I would be more scared of constantly scoring an 18th place than scoring a first place and then a bunch of 25s.
Yeah. Good observation. And there's Sweden 77 still on the racetrack, just near the starting line, and further up the racetrack on the right-hand side, you can see Great Britain just checking in on their settings, seeing how the breeze feels. Looks like the breeze might be picking up a little bit more, do you think, Adil?
Very nice. It looks about 12 knots now. They're definitely full power. And we'll also take this moment to explain what we are going to do, because this is a new format. We just had the qualifications. We're going to have the 4-boat final now. So, first boat coming in, Sweden. They take 3 points into the final. Second boat, Spain, take 2 points. Third boat, Canada, takes 1 point. And the fourth place boat, GBR, takes 0 points. The winner of this race gets awarded 4 points. The rest of the boats get awarded 0. So that means it doesn't matter if you finish second, third, or fourth in this race. It's all about winning that race. And the winner of this race gets 4 points, most points overall, and they win the world title.
So whoever crosses the finish line of this race in first place will win the gold medal. The gold medal is up for grabs for any of these 4 boats.
Exactly. Very exciting.
That's the easy bit to understand. In terms of how the silver and the bronze is handed out, if you don't finish first, if you don't get the gold, then the silver and the bronze is determined by who was ahead of who going into this final race. So that's why it was still important, for example, for Paula Barceló and Maria Cantero from Spain to hold on to second place, because they could get the gold if they win the race, or they could get the silver, but the worst that they can drop to is the bronze, depending on if they are beaten by some of the other boats. But do I have that right? Did I describe that correctly?
Swedish teams are secure of worst case scenario a silver medal. Spanish team have secured a bronze medal, worst case scenario. The Canadian girls haven't secured anything yet, and also the British team hasn't secured anything yet. But difference between Canada and GBR is that if Canada match race GBR so that GBR doesn't win the race, they know that they will have 1 bronze. Doesn't matter if Sweden or Spain wins that race. GBR cannot match race anyone. They don't have anything yet right now. They just need to go all in. And if I be the other boats, I'd definitely be looking at GBR 24 and where they're going, because they're not going to be afraid to risk it. We're going to have to go a little bit quickly right now. Orange flag is already up. We only got 2 minutes and 20 seconds until this final. It looks a little bit different. The race is only 11 minutes long. And we're going to have an upwind gate. That means we only have a bottom gate where the sailors can choose which buoy they want around. We're also going to have that at the top now, which creates even more overtaking scenarios and will make sure that this race remains exciting until the very end.
Yeah, so we need to watch out for that, the Windward Gate. That is a change of course format, and we'll try and talk you through that as we get to the top of the course. And there are some real interesting scenarios, as Adil just explained. Will Great Britain go for broke and try and win the gold, or will Canada try and consolidate and protect the bronze, which would mean maybe keeping a closer watch on what Great Britain is doing?
It's also, I'm wondering what's going through the sailors' mind right now, because they're so programmed on sailing in a 20 or 25 or 30 boat race, and then all of a sudden they're sailing in a 4-boat race. And luckily they do sail these types of races very often in training. A lot of teams sail with 4 teams together, so they're used to it, but it does definitely invite for more aggressive sailing.
Looks like everybody is lining up for starboard tack. I wondered if port tack might be an option, but because we've got the gate up at the top of the course, one of the benefits of starting on port is taken away. One of the benefits normally of starting on port is that if you get your ley line right, you only need to do 1 tack, 1 manoeuvre for this first leg. But if you've got a gate at the top, you've got that. You only need to 1 tack it if you bang out to the left or the right side of the course.
Yeah, definitely. You can also see that the boats are not really that keen lining up. What we can also see is that we have a P flag flying. That's the blue flag with white dots in the middle. That means that if someone is over early in this last minute, they can still go back to the start line and start again. But they're all far back. I don't think this is happening. They're being really secure. I think they almost need to start sailing, especially Spain. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we're wondering if the clock was wrong on the screen.
That was the clock wrong. That was just 1 minute till the start line. That makes more sense. We were a bit worried for Spain there if they had left their Spanish temperament at home. But we've got about 50 seconds to see. Ooh, I wouldn't want to be Canada right now. They're squeezed right in between Sweden and GBR. If it's only 4 boats, you definitely want to have free wind because there's so much free wind to grab. It doesn't make sense being close to anyone.
Spain looking like they might go for the port tack start.
Definitely, they're sailing away from the fleet. I can definitely understand Spain. They've already got a medal in the pocket. Why not go the other way that the other 3 are going? Then at least you've got a 50-50 chance at that gold.
Sweden tacking away. We've only got 20 seconds to go. Sweden maybe looking to get itself a bit more space for an easier starboard tack. There's lots of space on this line.
Boats still far away, taking it safe. GBR go for their acceleration. Canada is a bit slow. Let's see the start they're going for.
Whoa.
There we go. Spain is going for a port tack.
Wow.
Really close with GBR. That was a foul. I saw the tiller extension being hit by the British. Let's see what the umpires have to say about it. Ballsy move by the Spanish. Really risking it all in this final race.
Is there going to be an umpire call on Spain, or did they get away with that?
I see a green checkered flag. That means that either the umpires didn't see it or they didn't think Spain fouled Britain. And Spain definitely pulled off a very exciting start. And they're all the way with themselves out towards the right side. Be pretty happy to be Spain or GBR right now, with Canada and Sweden really close together and a bit on the back foot of GBR.
Spain really went for broke there. It nearly all fell apart for them, but they've got away with it. But now look how fast Great Britain are going out to the left-hand side in a very commanding position.
They're going super fast. You can see they're totally stretched out with their bodies, as well as the Spanish teams. Breeze is full on at the moment. I think we've got about 14 knots. Boats are ripping through the water. And oh, what a beautiful shot from above. What's important to say here is that Sweden and Canada are right now the boats with the right of way if Britain tacks. So Britain has to wait in order when they think they can cross in front of these teams. And there's a chance that they get pushed over ley line by the Canadians and the Swedish.
But Great Britain is so close to ley line now, I feel like even if they did tack, wouldn't the others tack anyway? Because otherwise they're just sort of cutting their nose off despite their face.
And they're taking that gamble as we speak. They have done the tack. Let's see what Canada and Sweden does. Canada decides to join them in tacking, and Swedish as well. Oh, they are still in the speed. Oh, the bit of a tough tack for the Swedish. So let's see if they can survive underneath the Canadian boats. It does look like GBR is already a little bit over ley line, sending it here. Meanwhile, Spain is all the way by themselves on the right-hand side of the course, gunning towards that top mark, hoping to take that world title.
And Spain have the benefit of being able to sail in clear air exactly how they want. I know, Adil, you said yesterday sometimes it's easier to sail faster when you've got other boats to gauge off. Spain don't have that, but I think Spain are probably quite enjoying having all that clear space.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice that the others are battling for the bone to take it yourself. Let's see how they come up. Yesterday, a lot of the times, top left was strong, but the Spanish have had the benefit of sailing with free air this whole time. Meanwhile, GBR looks to be really fast, and Canada looks like they got sandwiched out between these super fast boats of Sweden and GBR, really having to survive there. And the jury boats being very close. They want to make sure they see everything. Spain has done a really good job on the right-hand side. Not quite on ley line, but is crossing in front of the other boats. They do still have 2 more maneuvers to do, or 1 if they take the right-hand mark.
So it looks like Spain is going to go round the right-hand mark. It's surely going to make it easier for themselves just to do 1 more manoeuvre. Sweden has gone for attack, looking... Oh, and this is just all playing into the hands of Spain. Spain about to go round cleanly. Great Britain winning the 3-way battle to go round the opposite way. So the gamble to start on port tack so far appears to be paying off for Spain. Difficult hoist there, not the smoothest.
Sweden choosing to follow them. What's also important to note is that even though Great Britain is sailing a great race and they're in second right now, second doesn't do anything for them. They would still leave this race without a medal. If they want a medal, the only one they can fight for is that gold medal, but they're going to have to overtake Spain to do that.
So now the split develops and Spain went round some way ahead, but are they going the best way for the best breeze? Great Britain going all out down the far side of the racecourse. We've seen some misjudgments on ley lines in this kind of breeze in the FX, so they don't want to overstand too much. Great Britain jibe, Canada jibe at the same time.
Canada jibing on top of Britain to try to take their breeze. Britain is going to have to battle out hard, really send it to get out underneath it, while Spain can sail here by themselves. And we'll see really soon if they made the right choice by taking that upwind mark and choosing the left-hand side of the downwind.
Paolo Barceló, Maria Cantero on this side of the picture, looking over their shoulder to see where that yellow Jenica of Great Britain is, but it looks like the Spanish are still going to be leading coming into the bottom gate. Now what are they going to choose? The easier would be the straight drop and go out to the left-hand side of the racecourse, the opposite one that they did first time round. Meanwhile, coming down fast, the yellow Jenica of Great Britain, they're going to go the opposite way.
A bit of a slow drop by Spain, and that opens up the door for GBR, and they're splitting the course again. GBR going to the right side, whereas they went to the left side in the last upwind, with Spain heading out towards the left-hand side. Woo! It's far from over, this race, especially with GBR taking all the risk, sailing the boat really nicely. They went for that start line, winning the pin end, giving it their all to get that world title, same as Spain, whereas Sweden and Canada have some catching up to do and still have a chance at making that medal, but not looking so good right now.
Now the big split develops. We saw Spain winning from the far side, which is where Great Britain is, but is there really a difference in racetrack? It's probably mostly about having clear air and just going as fast as you possibly can.
I see the speeds bumping around. At one point, it's Spain with a bit more speed, then it's GBR with a bit more speed. Breeze is on both sides of the course. We've seen both sides work. We do see quite a bit of chop. Sailors having to struggling against it. If you see these white splashes in the front of the hull, that's not what we want. We want gliding through it. We see a bit of bending in the knees here with the Spanish team. That means that they have a little bit less breeze. They cannot fully harness their power and hang out. That gives an opportunity for the British if they are able to stretch their legs in the breeze. It looks like it's still really, really close, and we're going to have to see when they come together which side ended up paying off.
So the British have tacked, and you would hope, whether you're British or Spanish, that you have judged your ley line correctly so that you don't need to do any further tacking. You really want to get round the windward mark in one go. An extra tack is just giving away distance to your opponent.
Yeah, and remember there is 2 windward marks to choose from here. So if you're not on ley line for one of the marks, you might be able to take the other. We might even see another split with them taking opposite marks at the open mark. The tracker gives them dead on with each other. Still really exciting. These Canadian sisters, they're just hoping that the British don't win this race. If the British win this race, then they overtake them, and the Canadians will be the unlucky losers of this race, finishing in 4th. Swedish, they have secured their silver medal. They're hoping that Spain doesn't win this race, but it is looking really good for Spain, crossing clear ahead of the British. They took the other mark than they did last time, but working out for them so far.
It's actually a bit of a gain, isn't it? It's a big gain when you think that they pretty much went round neck and neck with Great Britain at the bottom of the course. That's been a big advantage in favour of Spain.
And here Spain goes with a big lead in the last downwind. They have to give way to Sweden here, so they have to be a little bit careful. That's a really tight situation.
I wondered if the medal was going to be decided there for a moment.
Why would they risk it? Just wait a little bit longer with hoisting that kite. Now they've given the opportunities for the umpire to penalize them. If I would be Sweden, I would be screaming at that judge. Did you see that situation? Really risky sailing from the Spanish, but we've seen their really risky sailing work before. Let's see if it gives them a shot. And the other side of the course, we see that Canada has overtaken the Brits. They're doing everything they can. They don't want to lose that bronze medal. This would be their first medal at a Worlds, and they're really fighting for it.
Spain going fast, going into the jibe. Will this be the final jibe of their race? Have they judged their lay line perfectly, or have they got more to do? Looks like more breeze on the far side. Looks like Spain might be in slightly less breeze as Canada go through their jibe.
I cannot believe that Spain had a lot of tight situations in these races. They did get a little bit lucky with the umpires twice, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes you need to be a little bit lucky, but also their aggressive sailing has really paid off, and they only have a straight line to sail towards the finish line, towards their first world title as a team. Here we are looking at the Spanish.
Paulo Barceló, Maria Cantero just seconds away as they are about to cross the finish line. The Spanish have sailed so bravely in this race. They've taken risks, and those risks pay off as Spain 76, Paulo Barceló, Maria Cantero win the 49erFX World Championship. And those celebrations are surely going to break out between these two amazing sailors.
Fists in the air. Wow, they took the risks and they paid off. You need to have guts to pull off a Portex star like that. We see the team hugging each other, high-fiving each other. What a relief and what a beautiful race they have sailed. Very well-deserved win. Amazing, amazing, amazing sailing. And as they come to the coach boat to celebrate it with their coaches, oh, what a moment for this new team.
And even the unsmiling Xavi Fernandez, the coach, the Olympic gold and silver medalist, allows him to himself to crack a smile with his two acolytes who said they came here to learn. And Paulo Barceló, I think I can venture, is the first ever person to have won a 49erFX World Championship from both ends of the boat as a crew and now as a helm. And that is a phenomenal achievement in itself.
Multi-talented, also graduated as a doctor. What can she not do? The new world champion. And here we see the silver medalist last year, silver medalist this year, but with a new crew, Ebba. Great sailing by the Swedes, with Ebba winning a world championship's medal here. They must be a little bit gutted right now. You can see some confusion. They are having some discussions, but hopefully in a while they'll smell back fondly of this great Worlds. And here we see again the Spanish celebrating, flying that flag high with their physiotherapist in there. They have a big team supporting and they are celebrating. Big hugs all around.
Yeah, wow. Spain have such a record in the 49er and the 49erFX. And when we watch the title being played out in the 49er men a little bit later on, we don't have long to wait for that. It's Spain in pole position in the men's 49er as well. So could it be a double win for Spain today? This was probably the lesser expected of the two gold medals for Spain today, but now they've done it. Diego Botín and Florian Trittel will surely be thinking, well, now we got to go out and do it for Spain as well.
Yeah.
I know that you will feel differently, Adil, because the biggest threat to them is the Dutch.
Yeah, here we see the Canadian sisters in third. Oh, I know that they were really nervous for this event and they've got their champagne bottle out. They take it every regatta with them on board in case that they podium. They took it out today and here they come. Here they come, shaking their bottles, popping the bottles, spraying each other. This is beautiful to see. They celebrate every step of the way and this is a huge step in their career. Their first World Championships medal for the big sisters. Taking a sip. Congratulations, girls. You've earned it. You see some tears. Oh, I'm getting some tears from Georgia. Amazing to see this emotion. And it shows how much the athletes care. While we look at the ranking of the 49erFX World Championships here in Sardinia.
And Freya Black and Saskia Tidy fought so hard in that race. And they didn't quite manage to pull it off. But really well sailed by GBR, and they get fourth in the world championship, which is their best ever performance, and they have lots of good things to take away from this world championship. And there we have the confirmation that Paulo Barceló and Maria Cantero are our new... Oh, We have an interview with the winners, so over to on the water we got Fotis.
Champions of the world in this first new format. How do you feel? How is it?
We feel super happy and yeah, super well. It's still a bit shocked, I think.
It has been a very long event for you. Always in the top 3, and now you win the gold.
Yeah, I think it's been a good event. We've had like a lot of different conditions. I think the battle has been very tight till the end. We've really enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah, we're just super happy to be winning the regatta in the end.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fotis, getting our interview with the winners, and congratulations to them. And now we see the 49ers come onto the race course, because we're going to be going into the 20-boat race for the 49er men. And among those competitors is our own Adil Lambriex van Outholt's husband, who has a serious shot at a medal today. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to you shortly for the build-up to the 49er men. The breeze is blowing beautifully across the Bay of Cagliari. It looks like it's even filling in for the second of our 3 world title deciders today. We've just seen the 49er FX world title won by Spain, and it's Spain in the box seat of the men's 49er skiff as well, with the reigning Olympic champions Diego Botín and Florian Trittel at the top of the standings, with a fairly good lead over the next boat, which are the 3-time world champions from Netherlands, Bart Lambriex van Aanholt and Floris van der Werken. And currently, as things stand, it would be Great Britain and Denmark who take the other 2 remaining spots in the 4-race final, the 4-boat final later on. But look how close the standings are. Anyone down to the top 10, down to 10th place, Molleris and Bornath from the USA, still has a shot at the medals today. And just out of medal contention in 11th place, it's Erwan Fischer and Clement Pecan, the outgoing world champions. They won so comprehensively in Lanzarote last year, as did you, Adil. You've just, unfortunately, you're no longer the 49er FX world champion as of a few minutes ago.
No, and the French will be gutted. One of their races was a UFD, which they crossed the finish line in fourth, but they had a disqualification for starting too early. That would have put them right in contention for that 4-race final, but as of right now, it's the top 10 boats that still have a shot in that final. A lot of good teams, including silver Olympic medalists Isaac McCarty and William Mackenzie from New Zealand. They are in 6th right now, so they have a little bit of work to do to get into that final.
Now, let us just remind you of the format. You've already seen it with the 49er FX, but if you are just joining us, here's how it goes. Each fleet completes a medal series consisting of 2 races. The first race in each fleet has 20 boats and is a normal race except umpired and non-discardable. The scoring is normal, points added to the previous tally of points from the week so far. So that's what we're about to watch now. That is the 20-boat race that is umpired by on-the-water umpires, so that all decisions are made there in the moment. We don't have to wait around back ashore for protests, which is the usual way in sailing. And then whoever are the top 4 to proceed from this race go into the second and final race. And whoever wins the 4-boat race wins the regatta. So whoever crosses the line in the last race of the event wins the gold medal. And then the other 2 teams slot into 2nd, 3rd and 4th based on what order they were already in prior to the race. And so GBR 4, as we see there, they are currently in 3rd. You can see that they're wearing the bibs that say that they are in 3rd place.
These are the boats we're looking at. We're looking at GBR 4, Denmark 79, Spain 707, New Zealand 18, Poland 64, Denmark 66, Swiss 77 and USA 43, who are all fighting for that spot. Remember that Spain 74 and Netzu have already booked their spot in the last part of this medal series. So it's the other boats really fighting. With only 1.5 minutes to go, breeze is looking beautiful. We've got about 14 knots there. You see the white caps on the water. Sunshine. 1 minute 30 to the start in between these orange flags. Everybody's still far behind. They're taking their time, looking at the breeze. Where do want to go in this final race?
Really hanging back right now. There's not much pattern to how they're lining up. This is not nearly as clear as what we normally see in the lineup to the races. And yeah, it seems to be a different approach, a much less structured approach to the start. That's the U flag coming down. We're into the final minute.
We see the Dutch boat, Bart and Floris, lining up for a Portex start at the pin end. We see Jonas Warrer currently in 4th. He wants to have a good race to stay in that top 4 here at the race committee together with GBR4. It's funny how the boats are fighting. They're already looking for each other here on the starting line, booking their spots to start in a nice place in this race.
Coming up to 30 seconds before the start.
Getting closer and closer. Here we go. 25 seconds to go. We see the Dutch young guns gunning for the pin together with Germany 11 and Norway 345. Here we go. Oh, they're getting closer. This is really exciting. 14 seconds to go. Quite a few Portex starters. 10, 9, 8. Are they going to find their spots? 6, 5. They're really close to the line already. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa! That's nearly all of the fleet over, I would say, except for all the Portex starters, especially Uruguay 14 really went quickly at that start, and New Zealand 18 looked early as well. They cannot afford over early because they still need to book their spots in that final.
Uruguay, they've been pushing the line all week and they've judged it to perfection, but this time surely Uruguay must be amongst those. General recall confirmed. Okay, so you called it a deal. So many boats were over that we have to go back. And the strange thing was there was a lot more hanging back. It's a really messy, unstructured lineup to that race. Is that the nerves? Are we seeing?
No, I think it might be the nerves, because you are right. It was not looking. Normally they all line up together. They're all close and they take a measured approach to the start. Now it seems like they were a bit unsure of where they were on the line. First staying back, and then everybody got very excited. It does sometimes happen. If one boat pulls forward, all the others pull forward with this boat because they don't want to start in the bad air. But this was quite a dramatic start with so many boats being so far over already at 3 seconds before. General recall means that all the boats are being called back to the start, and we're going to restart this start in the first part of the medal series for the 49er men.
So that was the U flag, and that means you can't afford to be over early. But if there is a recall, then the boats like Uruguay get a reprieve and they're allowed to do the next start. But we need to watch out what colour of flag goes up on the committee boat, because if it's a black flag, then there's no reprieve. If you're over, and any subsequent restart, you're excluded from that.
Exactly, Andy. And even if they don't put up a black flag, you'll probably see the boats being a little bit more safe with the line on this next one. They've now had a little bit of a warning, a little splash in the face. Hey guys, but the next one is going to be a slap in the face if they're over early again.
And I think I saw Netherlands 2 and Spain 74, our two leading boats. They were both amongst the Portac starters. So if that race had got away cleanly, both those boats would have been fine going out to the right-hand side. So they were not the at-risk boats.
Yeah, and for Bart and Flores, they don't want to get an UFD. I think that's the only possible way that they could still be catched by anyone else. So safe to go for a Portac start. They don't want to risk it. Spain can risk all they want.
How much have you been talking through scenarios with Bart, your husband, or do you keep business very separate from family life?
We try to keep it a little bit separate, but I also love to talk about sailing, of course, and it's nice to have a little rundown of what happened that day and what might happen in the next day. I know they're really excited. They're quite excited for this 4-boat final as well. They are known to be called the pit bulls underwater, whereas we used to be called the golden retrievers. Annette and I just sailing along, whereas Bart and Fleurs love to get into the fights. So they're excited for this final fight for the medals.
All right, and just explain the difference. Obviously, both have been successful because you both won world titles and sailing at the highest level. So the aggressive versus the less aggressive approach that you girls take. How do both approaches work in this sport?
I think it also plays a little bit into the men's fleet and the women's fleets. The men leave even less space for each other on the start line. They also push the rules a bit more than the girls' fleet. So you see it there. And also, for example, this Portac start can be quite risky, but you see it a lot more in the men fleet where they dare to do this, whereas most of the girls still stick to the rules and sail a little bit more conservative.
Stick to the rules? Are you implying that the boys don't stick to the rules?
Well, no.
I'm not going to get you in trouble.
I take the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Okay.
But
not
we
going to
have
get you
seen
into any more trouble.
We have seen a lot of protests yesterday. For example, 2 teams who were in the top 10 would have been in the top 10 today. The Dutch team, net 4, 5, 6 of Wieband de Vos and Steingas, together with Nevin Snow, Ian McDermott. The USA team, who had a great day yesterday. Disaster for them, as both teams picked up 2 DSQs out of 3 races yesterday, and that takes them straight out of medal contention. So it shows You want to go fast around the track, but you also want to go safe and fair around the track. Yellow has gone up. We're in the last 5 minutes towards this start.
That was a really punchy start by Uruguay. I'm just looking at them just behind the committee boat, URU. And those guys really, really do like to go right up to the very edge of this invisible start line. Hernan Umpierre and Fernando Ditz, European champions from last year. Obviously, Uruguay not in Europe, but non-Europeans are still allowed to compete in the European Championships.
It looks like they're taking a transit now. Maybe they want to double check where that line is to have a safer start next time.
Netherlands 2, who we have this personal interest in the commentary booth. They're also close up on the line with just over 4 minutes to go.
And we talked about this flag, Andy. Last time we had the UFD, that was the red and white checkered flag, which means you cannot go over the line in the last minute. Otherwise, you get a disqualification. But if there's a general recall, you get called back. This time, they have put up the black flag. The black flag means also that you cannot cross the line in the last minute. But if there's a general recall, you get written down on the board and you're no longer allowed to compete in the next race. So a slight difference, but with big implications if you get it wrong.
Do you think it has a psychological difference, seeing a U flag or a black flag?
Definitely scares. Black is also like this aggressive color. It's warning you back a little, but I think it's especially the implications that the sailors have in their heads, and you don't want to miss that race. To be there while everybody else is racing and having to be on the rib with your coach, that's worst case scenario for any sailor. So I think they'll definitely be backing off this time. One minute to the start. Black flag has just gone down. These are the final bits. You do see everyone quite far back. We've talked about this banana earlier. People at the sides being a little bit more to the front, whereas people in the middle are far back from the start. Possibly some Portex starters again, like Spain 707. That's Conrad Condenser and Antonio Torrado. They're in 5th right now. They just need to beat a few boats to get into that final, and they think that Portex start is the way to get there. 25 seconds to go. Whew, it's ramping up.
And getting close at this end is Austria 28 and New Zealand 18, just trying to jostle for position off the pin end, and up the far end, Denmark 79. Currently lying in 4th place, just trying to get a spot. Looks like Denmark 79 will be able to get a spot here at the committee boat.
They're
5,
inching close again.
4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off. Could be close for some of them.
I said they were probably going to back off again, but that was a really punchy start, and you saw a lot of boats being in the front line at top speeds. A beautiful start to look at.
And as soon as we find out if that was a clear start or not, we will let you know. Out going fast on this side, going out to the left-hand side, it's Austria 28, Keanu Pretner and Jakob Flackberger, currently 20th. So last boat into the top 20, but a really good start by them. A really nice start by Great Britain, currently in 3rd place in this competition. So great start by James Grummett and Ross Hawes. And here we are with Uruguay, who actually started behind the fleet on port tack, and they're being duly rewarded for a very well executed port tack start underneath the fleet. Hernan Umpierre and Fernando Ditz currently in 12th.
And we've got great news for the British. This start was a clear start. That means that no one was over early. Everyone is racing this race, including Spain 707, who have to fight and have to jump up one more spot to get into the last part of this medal series.
Spain 74 on the left of picture. They're not having a particularly great race right now. Is there an opportunity for Netherlands to go on the attack and maybe take top spot away from the Spanish? Because Spain 74 not making life easy for themselves right now.
And what is their mentality going into this race? Do they just want to stay clear of everyone? Don't interfere with the qualifying for this last part of the medal series, or they're still trying to give it their all. They could also just see it as a warm-up for this final race. We don't know what's going on inside their heads, but we do know they're in the back of the pack as we speak. Boats doing well is the British pair of James Burnet and Ross Haas, followed closely by Frederik Ross and Jacob Precht Jensen from Denmark, heading out towards that left-hand side of the course with great boat speed.
Yeah, giving themselves the best opportunity to make sure that they secure a spot in the final, and the British have really gone out to battle for it. Here's France 1 in picture, the outgoing world champions. We know that Erwan Fischer and Clément Picard are not going to keep their world title, but they are sailing as hard as they can in what will be their last race in the competition. And there on the right-hand side, we have the standings. So GBR 4 is in third. They retain third quite comfortably as things stand at the moment. But the big news about first and second right now, what is it, Adil?
It's a swap over between the Dutch pair of Bart and Floris and the Spanish pair of Diego and Florian. This determines who has already secured that silver medal, while the others are fighting for the top 4 spots. As of right now, we've got GBR 4 and Denmark 79 making it, with New Zealand 18 just missing out by 1 point. It's going to be really important how these boats come together at the upwind mark, especially as New Zealand has gone out towards the right side with GBR 4 towards the left side. We'll have to see who crosses in first and is safe in the top 4.
So the battle for first and second, really, really close at the moment. Just a couple of points in it, but it's so important for either the Dutch or the Spanish. They'll both be working as hard as they can to get top spot going into the final, because if you go in the top spot, the worst you can finish at these World Championships is in silver medal position.
And we are getting towards the last part of this upwind. We've got New Zealand on the right-hand side. We've got GBR on the left-hand side. Poland 64 is also still running in the race. They were 7th this morning, but they're going to have to beat a couple of boats if they want to get into the top 4.
And you can see the yellow mark in the distance. It looks like Australia 61 might just be on ley line. Uruguay just tacked on to what they believe is the ley line. And then just to the left of them, it's Netherlands too in this battle to see if they can take top spot away from Spain.
And so far it looks like the left side is crossing ahead of the right. We've seen this a lot this week, especially with the top left side of the course paying off, and it looks like it's paying off for these sailors right now. That would be great news for GBR 4 and potentially for Denmark 66 as they're battling to get into this last medal race.
Great Britain 4 going fast on this side of the course, but they're coming in from the side with no rights once they are on collision course with any of the starboard tackers. So is there going to be an opportunity for the British and for Denmark 66 to thread the needle as they come into converging course with the starboard tackers?
Big question is also if the Dutch are already on the ley line or if they're going to have to do extra maneuvers. That would be really painful for them. The other boats, Denmark is choosing to tack right on top of them. They think that they have found the correct ley line. GBR tacking in front as well. It's getting crowded here at the front end, but great race so far for GBR 4. James Burnet and Ross Haas doing everything they can because they still want to have a shot at the world title.
And here comes Great Britain. They were so relaxed this morning when I spoke to them, really looking forward to fighting in this new format that everyone has had to familiarise themselves with not that much preparation time.
We also see Denmark 66 putting in almost everything they can to still get into that final. But they are also having to see how Denmark 79 does, because as of this morning, they were in 4th place. So they are one of the boats to beat.
Great Britain goes round in the lead. Ross Haas getting that Jenica up very quickly. Denmark go round in 2nd. Germany 3rd. Uruguay in 4th. another Danish boat, the Danish boat of Jonas Warrer and Mathias Lem Sletten, currently in 4th overall.
It's busy at this stop, Mark. There's a lot of boats wanting to go around the buoy at the same time. The umpires are very busy right now, seeing if nobody fouled anyone else. And we see disaster for the Swiss team of Sebastian Schneiti and Arno de Planza, trying to pull off a jibe set, but not quite managing. Oof, that's going to hurt for them. They were still in contention for the top 4, but they're definitely not going to make it now.
Great Britain jibe away onto port. They were being threatened by Denmark 66 front of picture. So this is the battle for the lead. Great Britain doing everything they can to secure their spot in the top 4. They went in 3rd place, and the way that James Grommet and Ross Hawes are sailing in this race right now, that's looking relatively straightforward for them. Denmark 66 now jibes. Frederik Raskin, Jakob Pret Jensen.
Here we see the live event rankings with that dreaded red line that the sailors have to stay above if they want to stay in the race for the world title. Right now we see the British boats and the Danish boats who are going to join the Dutch and the Spanish in this final part of the medal series towards the world title.
Really strong breeze. It looks like particularly strong breeze on the far side of the race course. And it could be possible that some people overstand the ley line if they don't appreciate any changes in wind speed and wind direction. Good jibe by Austria.
Got a big starboard port here. Spanish choose to jibe on top of the Austrians, but a little bit of a rush jibe under pressure, and the Austrians fly away underneath that. You see there's a lot of difference in breeze. If they get a little bit of gust, they get extra speed and extra depth, which propels them towards this bottom gate.
Germany and Denmark in the far distance on the left-hand side, and then middle top of screen, that's Denmark 79, went into the day. Jonas Warrer and Mathias Lem Sletten in 4th place, and they should be doing enough. As you look at the screen bottom right, that's the running order, the live event ranking. So it looks like the top 4 as they stand will stay the top 4 that go through, with Spain 707 the best of the rest right now.
We see Denmark 66 sailing a beautiful race. Great downwind, overtaking the Brits by a lot. Even have a bit of a lead of them right now. They're doing everything they can, but the Danish 79 are all in control. If they sail a solid race, it doesn't matter if Denmark 66 wins the race. They will still be in the final, but they have trouble getting the kite down. That was a tough rounding for Jonas Warrer and Mathias Sletten. They're back on it, but you see their sail is very twisty. They haven't got the controls right. Come on, guys. Now is not the time to crumble under pressure. Get back on your feet. Get out between that Dutch and American sandwich and get your boat forward, because here we see the Spanish pair of Conrad Conitzer and Antonio Torrado, who are right behind them and who are right now the team who are trying to overtake these Danish for a spot in the last medal series.
Yes, could it be 2 Spanish teams in the final 4? That's what they are fighting for right now. Spain 707 pushing hard upwind. And here we are on the left with the Dutch 2 team who managed to climb out from underneath the Danish. Danish have tacked away out to the right-hand side of your picture.
We see also very close battle for first place overall going into this last race between Spain and the Netherlands. Just 1 point between them right now. Oh. I don't know if the boys are seeing it right now. They're probably not looking back towards the Spanish, but they are sailing the boat really fast. I see Bart looking over his shoulder. Is there more breeze on the left? Can we take out yet? That USA boat is in the way. Come on, guys. Get out of that space. We want to protect the left side.
USA had a great rounding at the leeward mark, and they took advantage of that. The Dutch had to sail around the outside of the Danish.
They were in 10th this morning. They were the final boat, the last boat who still had a possibility at the slots, but they have a lot of boats to catch up. So as of right now, they're not making it yet. Live event rankings, they would be in 6th overall.
So very close match race there. And meanwhile, on the far side, Great Britain 4 going fast on port tack. Looks like they could be on a collision course with the Spanish boat. What are they going to do? Can they cross ahead?
And this is exactly the boat that they don't want to crash into. This is the boat that is fighting them for that spot, but beautifully executed right now. I see a Portec cross coming. There's one more wave. You don't want to hit a wave at that moment, but clear cross by James and Ross. Good job, boys.
Yep, they got away with it. It was actually fairly comfortable in the end, but they knew that Spain 707 was going to give no quarter. If there was any sniff of being able to get them on a port starboard, Spain would have taken that.
Yeah, and we see the umpires there. They were right on the spot. They were aware that these were the teams that they needed to be looking off. No one faulted anyone, but the umpires are there to see if anyone does.
On the far side, by the rocks, by Zella Diavolo, the Devil's Saddle, the Dutch have tacked, and so have the Americans, and it looks like they might be the leading boats in this race, where the breeze is still swinging around from side to side. And it's neck and neck in the points as you look on the right-hand side. It was 85-85 as I spoke. It's now gone 85-86 in favour of Spain. It looks like Spain might have just pulled up a spot.
Yeah, and how beautiful is this racing here in Sardinia? Crystal clear waters, beautiful breeze, teams stretching it out, sailing the boat the way the boat needs to be sailed with this beautiful background as we speak. The boys are probably not looking at the background. They are fully focused in this race. But for us viewers, it's nice to enjoy.
Spain 707, have they done enough to squeeze inside the top four? I don't think so. I think that's a little bit misleading.
Here we see nice shots of the Dutch team battling it out onto the waves on starboard. You can see that the waves are coming a bit from the front on starboard. That makes the boat harder to sail. That means more steering, more main sheeting, and also having to get that in sync in between the team members, the helm and the crew. Denmark 79, who had a tough mark rounding, was forced to tack out to the left, but it looks like it was actually working out in their favor. Sometimes you have to be a little bit lucky, or maybe he saw breeze on the left. Anyway, really nice execution here by Denmark 79 in their second upwind, and I think they've managed to catch a few boats, and they're looking pretty safe in that top four right now.
Okay, well, I would say don't count your chickens quite yet. I think that's not quite right what we're seeing on the right-hand side, so ignore that. I still think it's going to be Netherlands, Spain, Great Britain and Denmark that go through in the top four as things stand. So we'll just let those rankings sort themselves out a little bit.
And occasionally you see the boats jumping around. We've got big waves right now, big breeze, beautiful sailing as Denmark 66 heads towards the top mark. They just have one more tack to go in this final upwind.
And after that amazing downwind leg, the Denmark 66 guys have really stretched their legs on the fleet and they're looking very comfortable. And it looks like they've actually overtacked the ley line fairly comfortably as well. They've got the space to not have to worry about that too much.
No need to take a risk. They just want to sail a great final race. That's all they can do. They had to have other people sail bad to make it into the top four, but this is all they can do, and they're giving it their best.
And it's going to be close between Germany on the right and Denmark here. Germany might be able to squeeze round into second place.
They're at least going to try and go for it. That's Richard Schul, Thijs, and Fabian Rieker.
So Germany move up to second, Denmark 79 in third, but that will still be enough to keep Denmark 79 a spot in the four-boat final.
Performing under pressure when it's necessary. We've seen him do this in 2008 at the Beijing Olympics. He's doing it now again at this 49er race at the World Championships. Yeah,
that's how long he's been in the game. He's been racing 49ers at the top level for 20 years. And that's who we're looking at now at the back of Denmark 79. Jonas Warrer, the surprise Olympic champion in 2008. But he's showing that all that experience of racing and coaching others in the 49er is all coming home to help him out today on this final day of the 49er World Championships.
Definitely. As we see the 49ers rounding the top mark, we see Swiss 77 again. We saw an unfortunate capsize from them the last downwind, but they've managed to catch up again, and they are right there with the fleet, still racing. We also see the Spanish Jenniker of Diego and Florian, but as of right now, they're still doing enough to stay in first place going into that last top 4.
And that was always the risk for Netherlands too. Is it doesn't matter how good your race is. If Spain 74 started badly, which they did, they've got that ability to climb through the fleet. And so they're managing to keep their nerve and just pick off a boat here and there and close that gap. And as things stand, it looks like they've done enough to move back into the overall lead.
And we're looking at a beautiful shot here of the Dutch boys. Wieband and Sein sending it all by themselves on the left-hand side of the downwind with that blue kite. And looking at the Spanish now, unfortunately, they're doing a great race, but they needed others to sail bad as well. This is Konrad Konitzer and Antonio Torrada. Even if they finish in this place, this would be by far their best performance at a World Championships. Great sailing by these guys. We see a little flug of the kite, like we saw with the girls yesterday, staying safely away from the waves with their bow.
I'm a little bit worried that the boats we're looking at have overdone the jibe, and I think USA 43, they're really curling that kite, and I think even Spain 707, they might have overcooked this ley line. So is there an opportunity for others to steal a march? We saw Sweden do that in the FX yesterday. Denmark 66, safely across the finish line. Woo-hoo! What a great way for them to finish their World Championship. Frederik Rask and Jakob Prekjansen from Denmark celebrate the win across the line, and a really very solid win at the end. Look at just the distance. It looks like Denmark might be getting second across this line as well.
Germany definitely sending it here, flogging the kite, main sheet out all of the way, trying to get through that finish line in front of Denmark. Great sailing, boys, full pressure. Denmark 79 crossing the line in third, securing their spot for the next race.
So well done, Richard Schultheis, Fabian Riga. You managed to hold on. You overcooked it, but that's a great finish also by Netherlands, going across the line in fourth, and again for Great Britain going across in fifth. So both those boats securing their place in the final. And now it's a matter of where will Spain 74 be. This is Spain 707. They're not quite going to do enough to get into the four-boat final, but still brilliantly sailed by the second-string Spanish team.
Yeah, they're the boats just underneath that red line. They're the unlucky losers, together with Denmark, who did all they could to get into it. A great sailing by both teams, but not quite managing. As we see the Spaniards crossing the finish line, doing enough to still go into that final race in first position, securing a silver. The Dutch have secured their bronze, but they're going to fight against the British pair of James Grummet and Ross Hott, together with who we're seeing now, Jonas Warrer and Matthias Lemslette, for the world title.
And the one difference there from before that race is that Denmark has now moved into third spot and Great Britain is down to fourth spot. So a marginal change there. We've already spoken about the implications of that. I feel that with all the people we're looking at, they're all going to go for broke. I think all of these four teams are going to pull out all the stops for gold medal. I don't think we're going to see a defense of the bronze medal, which is the other tactical option.
Yeah, looking at the characters of these sailors, the only people I would maybe give that to is the British. But they're the team who are without a medal right now, so they don't have a chance. They need to go risky, pull it all. We just looked at the FX racing. Being risky, giving it your all, definitely worked out for the Spanish. So if the boys were watching that race, that could give them some inspiration for their own race. They finish now. Big thumbs up from the British boys. Very happy. They have a little break with their coach, a little water break, maybe a little discussion. How do we want to approach that next race with just 4 boats while we look at the current rankings?
I think we need to take that down and put it up again. Thank you.
Thank you, media team, for looking out for us while we look at the beautiful scenery here in Sardinia. This is amazing sailing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, that beautiful dark blue, and the darker it gets, the windier it means it's getting, and we love that, don't we?
Yeah, we love that. It makes for super exciting races. The heart rates of these sailors will be up, and while it gets physically more demanding, mentally they have to stay super calm and sharp, and that's what's super cool about this sport. So even while they're going super fast, getting water splashed in their face, they're gonna have to act as if they're sitting in a comfortable room, seeing, oh, do I think I see some breeze there? What are my opponents doing? Super. I love this. I love days like this.
What are you doing in these moments in between races? If you're sitting on the coach boat or just cruising around, where do you want your headspace to be?
Well, if it was a good race before, I would definitely take a moment to celebrate that good race, because you don't know what's coming next. And like the Canadian girls do, they always take a bottle of champagne with them. They celebrate the moments when they can. So if I was these four, I would celebrate getting into that final medal series race, and then take a little breather, have a little drink, maybe a little food. Definitely want to keep my energy up. Even though it's a short race, it's a really important race. You don't want to be lacking energy. And then maybe talking about some random bullshits, because probably you've already talked through the whole plan with your team before, and it's nice to take a little bit step back, because you're going to have to be super switched on in a few minutes time.
So you might even have a topic that's completely off topic. You know, it might be...
Yeah, it'd be like, what do you have for dinner? Oh, I love my carbonara. Oh, it was a little bit eggy. I preferred the pizza margherita.
And why do you do that?
Oh, also to keep it a little bit light. Everybody knows they're under pressure. You might also say, hey guys, I'm nervous. Speak that out with each other so the other person knows you're nervous as well. But like I said, you don't really need to talk about all these strategic technicalities anymore, because you already know it. We see here the Danish team, they are preparing their boat for the next race. They are changing their setup. The breeze has increased, so they're probably making their sail even flatter so they can sail faster through the water. So you might need a little bit of time for that. Usually it's the crew doing the hard work while the skipper can chill in the back of the boat.
So Matthias will have a set of spanners there, will he? Turning the wires that hold the mast up.
Yeah, exactly. So he's doing the hard work, putting in those turns. Maybe also a little bit of warm-up for his arms for the next race, because the crew is the one doing a lot of tough work in the end in the race, crewing that main sheet in the upwind, but especially hoisting that third sail, the Jenniker, and dropping it at the bottom marks.
What do you make of Spanish in the last couple of days?
Great sailing by the Spanish. They
not as great as earlier in the week, though.
Not as great as earlier in the... Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened to them yesterday. They definitely seem to be struggling, but the days before, I was really impressed by their sailing. They seem to every time find the lucky shift, and you know that if it's every time they find this lucky shift, it's not lucky. They've seen it. So they've done a really good job positioning them. Even though the winds were shifting a lot, they remained very stable. So I think that was, great qualities to look at. But it is a different type of day today. So let's see what they can take forward.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back in for the build-up to this four-boat final for the 49erFX medals. Right, so we are building up to the deciding four-boat race to see who is going to come away with the 49er World Title 2025. Just over 2 minutes to go. And there is Spain 74. They've won many things in their career. They've won SailGP. They came from SailGP just last weekend from Cádiz just in time to compete here. But they've never yet won a world title, the Spanish, whereas the boat chasing them, Bart Lambriex, Van Aanholt and Floris van der Werken, they've got 3 world titles to their name.
Yeah, and following them in this last race is Jonas Warrer, Matthias Lamsletten, together with James Grummet, Russ Haas from GBR, with GBR probably wanting to pull out all the stops because they're the ones right now without a medal.
And actually, it's the Dutch. It's your husband and Floris, the only one of these 4 teams that's actually won a world championship before.
That's crazy. That's great. You think Jonas never won one?
I don't think he's won one, no.
Oh, wow. Probably then Jonas is also gunning to get that world title.
Age 46. Can he show the young guns how it's done? He certainly showed them yesterday in the big breeze and big waves with 2 seconds and a first place. He was absolutely in his element today. But who is going to take the necessary risks in this 4-boat final? It's a different kind of mentality. You can't afford to be conservative here. And I just wonder if all this SailGP experience of the Spanish, this sort of sudden death kind of scenario that they face 12 times a year in SailGP, is that going to set them up mentally for this kind of race?
Yeah, I think they're definitely the boat that's most used to sailing with fewer boats, it being all in, all out, shorter races as well. We're going to get a gate at the top mark, which they have in SailGP as well. So I would definitely say that Diego and Florian are most used to that. Let's see how they do. We got 3 boats lined up on starboard, 1 boat, the Dutch, lining up for a Portac start at the moment with just 20 seconds to go. Breeze is flowing beautifully for this last 49er race.
I don't like this setup for Denmark 79. Aren't they leaving a little bit late? Maybe not. Maybe they're okay.
It's almost time to get going. They want to. The Dutch are almost trying to do a repeat of the Spanish FX, but they choose to go behind. Take it a little bit safer, but go for that Portac start. Can they go in front of the Danish? That's the big question. It looks
that was close.
Super, super tight. I don't think they're going to make it, but they're trying to make it. Oof.
Whoa!
And they have to do a last-minute crash tag.
Oh, no.
Oh, the umpires must have seen that. That is disaster for the Netherlands. Oh, meanwhile, Spain is heading out full speed towards the left-hand side, and I'm surprised that all the other boats are following.
And there is a flag up. It looks like a red flag. There's a red flag. Is there going to be a penalty for the Dutch?
I'm holding my breath. I'm
the
watching the scenes, boys. Do you see the umpires?
I see them reaching in to release some controls. I think the Dutch are going to take a spin. And this is an absolute disaster for the Dutch. This is not the way they wanted to start.
So they have now completed their penalty. The penalty consists of 1 turn, attack and a jibe. So they're on back foot right now. Expect them to do some really bold stuff because they still want to have that gold medal. Meanwhile, Spain is doing a great job controlling the fleet quite comfortably, I must say, towards the left-hand side. As a synchrony attack from all 4 boats to the right. All the other teams probably thought, we don't want to follow the Spanish to the left, we're going to take it to the right. The Spanish reacting to that and following the fleet. They're sailing defensively now. They can control the fleet if they want to.
There's a lot of breeze up where the Spanish are. There seems to be generally a little bit more breeze on the left-hand side of the racetrack, and things just seem to be going the way of the Spanish. They got a good start. I thought the British start was maybe a little bit too good. I did wonder if it was going to be a clear start. But as far as we know, all 4 boats got off the line clearly. But then that disaster for the Netherlands, not quite getting across the front of Denmark 79.
Yeah, clear start from all of the boats, and they are now racing here in their first upwind. It looks like nice breeze on the left. Remember, we have an upwind gate, so all of the boats can choose which marks they want around, and that can open the play right up.
Spain in cruise mode right now. They've got this race under control. It's all become a little bit easier for them with the Dutch mistake right off the start line.
It does look like Denmark 79 has found some really nice speed and is gunning ahead, trying to create separation between them and Spain.
So remember, you can go round either mark. You've got a choice of marks up here, but I suspect everyone's going to want to go for the left-hand mark.
We see the Dutch here attacking early. That gives them a shot to take the right-hand mark if all the others take the left hand. But they are in bad air now. That is a Spainful spot to be in, boys. A Spainful spot.
A Spainful spot. There's nothing Spainful about this approach to the windward mark. The Spanish are looking very, very comfortable indeed. They're slightly overstood, but that doesn't matter because so are the boats behind them. They ease the sails, and Florian steels his biceps, ready for that big hoist.
Yeah, Spanish coming into this race as first, and right now showing their consistent week with a really nice series. If we finish like this, we would have double champions again. 49er FX and 49er Spain medal, but we still have a full race to go, so I should probably hold my breath and keep watching.
And it's a side-by-side hoist between Great Britain and Denmark. But we're back with the Spanish leaders going really fast. Are they going to judge this ley line? These ley lines are catching people out from time to time because the target time for this race is just 11 minutes.
And remember, it doesn't matter if you finish second, third or fourth in this race. The only position that matters is first. First place gets 4 points and will be for sure the overall winner. And the rest of the boats get 0 points for this final race. And we see a nice flug of the kite and still the bow splashes in between. This shows us that the waves are getting steeper and choppier and there's a higher risk for capsizing.
And I would say this is the biggest hope for the Dutch back in fourth place, that there is a potential for somebody to do a nosedive or a pitch pole in these conditions, particularly for GBR and for Great Britain. Has Great Britain overstood on the ley line? They look a bit pressed, but no, I think they're going to be okay.
And it's playing out for the Spanish so far. Everyone is forced to follow them. They've got done a clean mark rounding, heading out towards that right-hand side. Looking like some boats will follow them there.
So Spain has already won in the 49er FX earlier today. Is it going to be a double win for Spain in the skiffs today?
And it's James Grummet and Ross Haars who are daring to go towards the other side of the course. They have taken the other mark and are now attacking the left-hand side. And it's a bit weird for the Dutch right now because they actually want the Spanish to win the race at this point, because that would mean that they get to keep their silver medal. Whereas if Jonas Warrer or Matthias Lemsletten or James Grummet and Ross Haars would win the race, they would win the world title and the Spanish and the Dutch would drop a spot. But so far, it looks like the Spanish are comfortably in the lead, heading into the second upwind of the race.
The biggest threat to the Spanish right now are the British out on the far side, with the leverage developing from left to right across this race course. But I don't see them looking over their shoulder much.
No, they look pretty confident in where they're going. I have to say, a lot of the energy needs to go into the boat speed right now. With this chop coming in onto the bow, you need to get the boat going fast. We saw that it doesn't matter too much which side of the race course you go to. It is quite stable racing, so they're just giving it their all. They've committed to this right-hand side, whereas the British have committed to the left-hand side. So far, the speed looks a little bit lower on the British than on the Spanish, indicating that the Spanish might have a little bit more wind on that right-hand side.
British have tacked. Spanish have tacked. Now's the moment of truth. Have the British managed to close the gap on Spain?
And you see that these boats come to a near full stop during their attacks. That's why it's so costly in these 49er skiffs to do a maneuver, and you want to do as little of them as possible.
It looks like Spain is still quite comfortably ahead of Great Britain, so Spain is on track for a gold medal right now. Great Britain doing all it can to improve its position.
Doing all they can, but it looks like the Spanish had a good eye on this right-hand side, taking that breeze, and now they are on starboard, heading towards their final mark, final upwind. They look pretty relaxed to me, look in tune, sheeting, little movements on that main sheet, over every wave, working really hard. That's the crew. The skipper is holding the tiller extension, steering the boat straight ahead towards that upwind mark.
Surprised how far forwards they are in the boat, actually. I thought in those conditions they'd be standing a little bit further back. But anyway, they're certainly going fast.
And they're right in between both boys. They can choose which boy they will take. They will probably go for the easy choice. Just go for a straight set. You see Florian here easing the controls, setting the boat up for the downwind. Here they go, 2, 1. Going into hoist. This is give it your all. It's the last time you have to pull that Jenniker up. Grab the sheet and run outside. Get out into the wire and make the boat go fast again.
But not too fast, because watch out for the waves. There is a potential for nosedive. And that's why Florian is flogging the kite there. He's not taking any risks.
No need to risk it. But the second boat has only just hoisted their spinnakers. The Spanish are showing absolutely dominance here from start of the race towards the finish. Sailing beautiful, sailing how a 49er needs to be sailed, even with a little bit of preparation because they were busy at SailGP. They are still showing why they are the reigning Olympics champions in this class.
Florian keeping a close eye on every wave that this boat overtakes. They're going into the jibe. Mainsail goes across. It's a safety jibe. They're not taking any risks. That is not the fastest jibe we've seen, but why take the risk?
You did see some good teamwork. Diego dropping the main sheet. Florian grabbing the main sheet and giving it to them. They are not fussed by a little mistake. Flogging that kite again. Keeping it safe. You don't see the others flogging the kites because they want to go all for it. You see the British, they're sailing a nice downwind here, trying to catch up to the Danish. But the sad part is, it doesn't matter. It's all about the Spanish duo of Diego Botín and Florian Trittel, who are doing a great job towards the finish line. Here they go. I already see a little smile. They haven't crossed the finish line just yet, but they are already enjoying this moment.
Punch in the air for Diego Botín and Florian Trittel, the new and first time ever world champions. They add the world title to the Olympic title they won over a year ago. Winners of SailGP, now winners of the 49er world title. A big puff of the cheeks, big relief. Vamos!
Vamos los gallos, I think they're saying. We see some hugs, we see some looking around, and what a feeling and what a great day for Spanish skiff sailing, winning both in the 49erFX and in the 49er. I also saw a little puff of relief there. I think if you're winning the race the whole time, you're just holding your breath until that finish line as they get to their coaches. Alvaro, who was with them for the last campaign as well. Intimate hugs, what an emotion.
Alvaro and also Hamish Wilcox from New Zealand at the back. He coached Pete Burling and Blair Tuke to many world titles. And now Hamish Wilcox has worked with another world title winner duo. And it is Diego Botín and Florian Trittel. And commiserations, but also congratulations to your husband and Floris van der Werken. Because, okay, they didn't quite execute in this race, but they come away with the silver medal.
Yeah, and they went all for it. They said, we don't want to sail defensively. That was definitely not defensive sailing at the start. Silver medal at the Worlds. They must be very happy with that. They won't be happy right now. We're still looking at the Spanish celebrating. Oh, what a nice feeling they must have.
And did they really come here believing that they could win the world title? I was in touch with Dylan Fletcher, who won the Olympic gold in Tokyo 2020. He absolutely predicted these guys would do it earlier on in the week, and it turns out Dylan Fletcher was right, and he knew something that I didn't. But with their lack of time in the boat, I didn't think that they would be able to get back up to full world-class potential.
Oh, I definitely thought so. They're not Olympic champions for no reason. They've been training in Santander in between their SailGP together with the Uruguayans and with their teammates, the Spanish team of Conrad Conitzer, Antonio Torrado, who finished up in 5th. So they have great training partners to spar with, and they probably had this fresh mental edge, and they were really enjoying stepping back into the 49er.
And they didn't really do anything special other than getting a pretty nice start. It wasn't even the best start. The British possibly got the better start off the line. But in the end, it was relatively straightforward for them in that final.
Yeah, they had great speed. I think it was nice for them that the others followed them for quite a long time. There wasn't really anyone challenging them early on by tacking out towards that right-hand side. So that's a really nice start for the Spanish. And then from there on, they sail a beautiful race. Never in any threat for everyone. Sailing defensively, keeping themselves in between. Oh, and here we have the British, still a smile on their face, still great. They finished 4th at the Worlds last year. You see Ross throwing up his hands in the air. 4th again. Great consistency from these British guys, and luckily they can still smile.
And that means a bronze medal for the Danish team, Jonas Warrer and Mathias Sletten. And Jonas Warrer, age 46, still able to show the young guns how to sail these 49ers.
And here we have the final rankings of the 49er World Championships here in Sardinia, Cagliari.
Spain win on National Spanish Day, apparently. I've just been told that. It's a national day of celebration in Spain. It's another Netherlands too. They've already got 2 on their sail from the last Worlds. They don't have to change their sail numbers. And nor do James Grommet and Russ Hawes. They're going to be GBR4 for another year. But the new bronze medalists are Jonas Warrer and Mathias Sletten from Denmark, who sailed an amazing day. They climbed from 17th yesterday to 3rd overall yesterday because of a second, first in those scores. So
talk about peaking when it matters.
Yeah. And look at the strength of that Spanish squad with Konitzer and Martinez. Disappointed not to make the final, but clearly that training in Santander with the Olympic and now world champions is certainly paying off.
We've got an interview with Diego and Florian. Let's see how they feel about winning this medal.
Winners, champions of the world. With a comeback and a dominant week, how it feels? How are your first impressions?
Yeah, it feels amazing. I mean, we didn't have many expectations coming here because we've been off the boat for a year, but even though we didn't train much, we did very thoroughly, and I think we had a very good week, and super happy to come out with the win. The World Championship is one we really wanted. We've made some podiums in the World Championships, but never won, so it's a big one for us.
It's your first Worlds win, and coming back from SailGP, how it feels to sail the boat again?
I think that was actually something very positive for us, not just switching back for a year into SailGP and then coming to sail the 49er with a clear mind and just enjoying the racing. I think the level in the fleet is really high, even though if it's a year after the Olympics, and yeah, people are pushing and we're happy to be back and in the fight.
Something to say to the people that are watching from home?
Thank you very much. It's amazing to spend time, as Flo said, in the 49er, which such an amazing team with Alan Heimisch, and yeah, happy to be back. We'll see what the future brings. Thank you everyone for pushing.
Something in Spanish?
Yeah, just before the Spanish, just that I think our sport, we need something like this. No, we need to get coverage of what we're doing. We're trialing out this new format, and there are pros and cons and everything, but it's a nice step forward in our sport, in our Olympic sport, and yeah, happy that everybody at home could listen and check in.
Thank you. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so apologies for the audio. That's our sport. That's nature. There's so much breeze that the breeze is blowing into the microphones. But that are 2 very humble guys speaking about we're happy to be in the fight. They weren't just in the fight. They won the fight.
Yeah, and the middle of the week, with early part of the week, they were absolutely dominant. They had a bit of a wobble yesterday, and then when they needed to, they turned it on again right at the end, and so well deserved. And that is a double win for Spain on Spain's National Day. I mean, you couldn't ask for better if you are a fan of Spain and Spanish sailing, looking absolutely supreme right now.
Definitely, and they talked about doing some other sailing and then stepping back into the 49er with a clear mind. And I really understand this feeling. I've done it myself, doing some 69F sailing and then stepping back in. It's fun. You take the pressure a bit off yourselves, even though the pressure was on them. A lot of people were looking at them after being Olympic champion. But if they can tell themselves, oh, the pressure is off a bit, it can free up your racing. It can make it easier to make decisions. And that's what they showed. They're just enjoying the sail in 2 sail reach. Beautiful. It
looks beautiful. And as I said yesterday, I'd love to see more racing on a 2 sail reach like this. I know I'm asking you to do this as well, Adil, when you come back to the boat. But look at it. So much fun.
Yeah, great day for the Spanish, and it was nice to hear them talking as well about that our sport needs this coverage. We love it, and I think we're doing a great job here at these 49erFX of Nacra Worlds to bringing sailing, really spectacular sailing, to you guys at home. So if you enjoy, please keep watching, because we really enjoy showing these beautiful boats racing around.
Yeah, it's also about continuity. We've got to keep on telling the story. We've got to keep on telling the story throughout the year as much as possible. And then that requires more than what we can do here at the Worlds every year. We need to keep on telling a consistent story, which is what is happening with SailGP and what happens with Formula One and many other sports. And that's a message to the much broader sailing world that these are the stars of our sport.
We're going to take a little bit of an ad break now before we're back to you with the Nacra 17s.
Luigi Ugolini and Maria Giubilei. Luigi Ugolini and Maria Giubilei are at the head of the Nacra 17 fleet. And now we're going to go into the 20 boat series race before we see the final four battle it out later on this afternoon. And there are the standings. Look how close it is right now. Just a point behind a John Gimson and Anna Burnet from Great Britain. Offerman and Houtman from the Netherlands in third. Little and Brown had a great day yesterday to climb up to fourth. But you go down, all the way down to seventh place. And Sinem Kurtbay and Alichan Kanar, they and anybody above them can still win the medals today.
Yeah, it's basically nothing separating these teams, which makes this race all the more exciting. 20 boats, umpired racing, no discards. Whew, I think they're all pretty nervous. There's no one here who can relax and just sail an average race and get into that final race. They all have to do their best. There's a lot of teams we're going to be looking at. Who are you excited to see sailing?
Well, I am excited to see, of course, I'd love to see the British sailing. You love to see the Dutch sailing.
We're in Italy, so we also love to see the Italian sailing.
Yes, we do. They've looked after us very, very well. But, yeah, I mean, it's really good to see, what is it? It is 7 different nations that can still fight it out here for the medals.
Yeah, and that's cool. Whenever you see a class with a lot of different nations battling it out, that's great for the health of the sport. It's also really cool to see the Australian pair of Bryn Little and Rhiannon Brownen coming from 2002. By far the youngest competitors battling it out for this race. Let's see how they do. They're in fourth now, but they've got the Swedish right behind them. Only 2 points behind, virtually nothing. Got 2 minutes to go in this race. Red and white checkered flag is up again. That's the U flag. We have to stay behind the line. Conditions, if anything, I think have only picked up.
And these boats are capable of hydrofoiling all the way around the race course. They can hydrofoil upwind in these conditions, and they can certainly hydrofoil downwind. So really, really high speeds. If you thought the 49ers were fast, these are another click on, and they are the speeds are quite frightening sometimes. It can be a dangerous boat. In the wrong hands, it's a dangerous piece of equipment.
Yeah, and the faster you go, the harder you stop if you do stop. So I think they'll definitely be watching out, especially in the downwinds, not to fall off the follows and come to a sudden stop. This is pretty high-level racing, high-risk racing for these Nacras. As we head into the final minutes, I see a lot of people lining up for the pin end so far. Some potential Portex stuckers. I see the Argentinians and Italians, the other Italian team, lining up for potential Portex starts. Not too many people at the race committee. Final minute.
And it's a much more distant approach, isn't it, for the Nacras compared with the 49ers and the FXs. They really like to hang back. They like to take more of a wind up and an acceleration before they get going. So we're seeing them hold back compared with what we've got used to with the skiffs.
Yeah, they are lined up quite evenly, though. It seems like everybody knows where the start line is. No doubt about it. We see about 5 people are aiming for that Portex starts, but all the rest going for that pin end start here.
In the middle of the picture, just behind the orange flag, Italy 98 in the middle.
5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, that was a sharp start, especially by the Frenchies. What do you think? Was it all clear?
Oh, it's too hard to call, but yeah, the French up on the far side, they do look a little bit dangerous. That was either a very good start or they were a little bit over.
And we see the boats, they're already flying. You see their hulls. Those are the 2 white beams with a trampoline in between them. You see them flying above the water with these razor sharp foils. Those are the black pointy things which are gliding them through the water. Oh, they're working hard. This is spectacular.
Sweden 61 absolutely flying out towards the left-hand side, and a good start for the Italians. Italy 98 and also for Netherlands 22. Wilhelmine Offerman and Scipio Houtman maybe slightly in danger of falling into the bad air of the Italians, but no, they're managing to hold on to their line, and actually the Dutch managing to hold a slightly higher line. Argentina tacked quite a slow tack there, but these are high tariff maneuvers in the Nacra 17. These boats are so fast in a straight line, but quite difficult to tack.
Yeah, and they are sometimes able to do foiling jibes in the downwind, but they haven't managed the foiling tack yet, which means that during the tack, they have to get off of the foils, get both hulls in the water, and then after the tack, get back up to it. A tack is a huge investment in this class, so if you tack, you really want to make sure that's the right moment. These boats haven't tacked yet. That's Ida Svensson, Marcus Deckhammer here on the left-hand side. They have won the pin. They're going full speed with the Italians and the Dutchies right above them, whereas the British have chosen to go and attack the right side of the course.
That's the British just middle of your picture now. You can see the Union Jack and close to us, Austria 97, Laura Ferrezi and Matthias Zuckling, but they are not quite in for the medals. So this will be the last race for the Austrians.
And you see the Turkish pair of Sinem Kurtbey and Alison Kaner here right in our screen with the red Turkish flags. They were in 7th before this race. They are the last boats that might make it into the top 4, but they're going to have to work hard. And another couple of boats have to have a bad race in order for them to get in there. Italians cross on board in front of the French team. They are looking great so far, heading towards that upwind mark.
Sweden 61 just having to do a little bear away duck on France 51, bottom of our screen.
And we've seen a big split here with a big group of boats going towards the right, a big group of boats heading towards the left. We saw Argentina, who started towards the right and tacked out early from that right-hand side towards the left. Right now they are looking as if they might cross in front of some of the boats that went to the left initially, which would suggest that the right side was a good side. It might be close between Italy 98 and Argentina, whether they can cross in front.
Italy 98 hoping that they can get across the front of the Argentinians. It looks like they've managed to do that. So things looking very good for Ugolini and Giubilei here on home waters. And they know these waters here better than anybody. They've done so much training here, although often they've done a lot of that training with John Gimson and Anna Burnet, who are the closest threat for them to the gold medal today.
And while we're looking at the live event rankings and that dreaded red line that the sailors need to stay above, we see the numbers changing all of the time, with Netherlands being in there, Australia being in there, Argentina now and then being in there. The positions keeps changing. The sailors are still heading out to their sides and now doing their final approaches towards that top mark.
Really nice tack by Argentina there. The difference between a good and a bad tack is enormous, and we've seen a bad tack by Argentina and now a really good tack.
So a reminder, these boats will be going to a single upwind mark, so they all have to round the same mark. We do not have a double upwind gate here, so they're all having to go around one mark, and it's really close right now. Australia 5 is really coming hot in from the left right now, and they need that to stay in the top 4.
So it looks like some of the boats are now on ley line. Great Britain in the middle of those 3 going away from us and sailing a little bit more heel to windward than the other boats at times. So slightly different ways of approaching the setup on this, but the British quite notably are sailing a little bit more heel to windward. Sweden just passing behind them.
Ooh, that was a hard duck. You see here the Dutch flying in front. They'll be happy. They just have to do one more tack, whereas the others were quite tight on ley line. And quite tight on ley line might mean that you need to put one hull in the water in order to sail a higher angle, whereas you really want to stay on both of these foils. Keep the boat flying like we see the Argentinians doing right here, just slicing through the water.
And considering how wavy it is, these boats are flying consistently really, really smoothly, because keeping these boats on the foils through this big wave set is no easy thing to do.
And it looks like that boat's out on the right-hand side, tacked a little bit too early. That's also difficult in these boats because you're going so fast and you have to judge the ley line from so far away. It's really hard to get it right. Someone who did not get it wrong is the Italian team. They're flying now. The Argentinians tack in front of them, but they still have to get up into the foils after the stack. This is a battle, so they're going to round this upwind mark, go around the spread mark, and then head into their first downwind.
So Italy is going to take the lead ahead of Argentina around the first mark. And then it's going to be the hoist for Ugolini Giubilei. And they need to watch out, just as the 49ers and the FX did. They don't want to stack these boats into the back of a wave. Argentina go round in second. The Dutch go round in third. Sweden round in fourth.
Yeah, it's a big battle, but it's not the Swedish that that are in contention of that 4-boat race. It's Ida and Marcus. We want to see Emil and Jared and Hannah Johnson there, but it's not them. They have some catching up to do.
Italy up and running, going fast downwind. Ugolini doing the steering at the back. Giubilei working that blue Jenica and also doing the gunnel running backwards and forwards, trying to keep that boat level. Stop it pitch poling.
And you see the boat sailing with a lot of leeward heel, and they're doing that so that if in order that they crash, they don't crash too much with the points. In this way, they can keep the pitch more stable, so it looks scary. It makes sure that they're even higher on the water. Whoa! I cannot imagine that these sailors are sailing relaxed while they're sailing on the edge. You see the foils are just touching the water. They're really pushing these boats to their limits.
Big heel on the Argentinian boat right there. Can't believe how much heel they're putting into this. But as Adil said, it is intentional. And a bit of a safety jibe. Not the smoothest of jibe, but they get through. They're up and running again and getting up to full speed again, chasing down those Italians.
And we already talked about it in the 49er. They were occasionally flogging their kites, backing off. Here we see the Nacras having to do the same. The conditions have really turned up since that first FX race. We even see the back of the rudder foil occasionally leaving the water. These Argentinians aren't afraid to push it. They want to risk it they're all. And that makes sense because this morning they were out of the top 4 race. They were in 6th place. So they do need to risk it and sail a really nice race to get into that top.
Big lean over by the Australians as well. Australia 5 pushing really hard, right on the cusp. They are in the battle with Argentina for the last of these spots, because you look bottom right, Italy currently holding the lead, Great Britain in second, Netherlands in third, and then a really close battle between Australia and Argentina.
Definitely, and we can see, whoa, big splashdowns by the Italian. They pushed the boat a little bit too hard and they went with the bow in front. Big stopover, and what an acceleration now. All of these boats are pushing. Argentina is almost capsizing. I can't believe, look at that complete rudder foil out of the water. Oh my God, they are sailing on the edge.
I had no idea how much they lean these boats over. This is so unconventional, but like you said, Adil, when you got these big waves, you don't want to dig the knife at that bow into the back of the wave. And if you lean it over, it turns it into a bit more of a spoon shape.
Definitely, but imagine sailing the boat like this and then also having to judge a ley line and not crash into someone else. Well, these boats are doing a good job at it. Here we see the Italians with their bottom mark running. Argentina in following, with the Dutch still in third, still at this moment safe into the top 4.
Italy doing all they can, but chased really hard by Argentina and the hard-pushing Dutch. And here come the Swedes, but not the Swedes that we're more interested in. This is Ida Svensson and Marcus Dackhammer. They're just out of the medals. They will be sailing for pride in this race, sailing really well, but they can't go any further in the competition.
And we did see a bit of a gap opening up between those first 4 boats. So very nice for the first boats. They are ahead as here comes Australia with a big whoop. A little bit late on the Jennifer hoist with a big roundup. They are stopped as France digs the bow in. France 51. Oh my God, this is high level sailing. I can't hold my excitement. Here come the British. Not doing a great race so far, but definitely doing enough to get them into that top 4.
Yeah, and a much more conservative rounding for them. They got that kite down early. The Turks are getting their kite down late on the right-hand side with that red Jenica still to go away. And there's the other Swedish boat that's just gone round the mark. That's the one in contention. That's Emilia Rudd and Hannah Jonsson, but they're going to need to pull up a few places if they're going to take a spot in the 4-boat final.
So as it looks right now, it's the 4 boats that were placed this morning to race into that top 4 who are still lining up for being in that top 4. It's mostly Argentina really, really battling, but they're doing a great race. But they're going to need Australia to lose some points if they want to get in there and above that red line.
And that's who we see bottom of our picture. Australia sailing out towards the left-hand side. Got a couple of big waves to get through, with the French chasing them and the British just back behind.
It was a clear start from everyone. So it was just a sharp start by everyone, but clear, great racing. That means they're bang on. Everybody was right in the right focus and started off the race nice. And now we have a few front runners running away from the rest of the pack.
France getting a little bit of a higher line from Australia here. If France can continue to sail a little bit higher than Australia, that would be good news for Argentinian fans. Can the French start to put some pressure on the Australians? Great Britain further back, but still doing enough to be in second place overall, even though it's not a great race by the standards of John Gimson and Anna Burnet.
And the front runners are running so far ahead that some of our drones can't catch up. They are flying away. These are the flying boats. They are rivaling the kites to be the fastest boats together with the IQ foil at the Olympics. But here we get them into shots. They are sailing in glistening water with the sunshine on port deck. The first three boats on port deck already taking that tack back towards the top mark.
And Australia have tacked. Have they done enough to get across the front of France? No, they're going to have to duck behind France. So there are crumbs of comfort here for Argentina. Possibly the Australians might drop back, but it's very, very close right now.
And we see white caps all around. That the white caps means that the waves are breaking. So you don't want this wave breaking right on top of you, and you don't want this wave hitting your boat too much. Every time that a wave hits the foils, they change how much lift the foils gets, which means that the crews have to work really hard to keep that boat balanced. That's why you keep seeing them walking back and forward on the boat. That's to control the pitch, to keep the bow clear off of the waves.
These are really, really hard conditions for these Nacras. Any kind of foiling, and you don't really want to be sailing in these kind of waves.
But all teams look like they're doing a great job, especially in the upwind. You see a few splashes occasionally on the bow, but we see a lot of times with both of the hulls out of the water, the black foils slicing through the waves.
The Australians working as hard as they can to cling on to the hope of getting into the final four. The crew bending their legs as they go through the worst of those waves.
And remember, this race is not discardable, so every boat needs to do a good race. The pressure is really on while the wave state is getting wilder and wilder, and the top boats are already heading towards that top mark. It looks like Netherlands and Argentina have stayed really close to Italy, and it's going to be a tight battle who goes around the top mark in seconds. It's really important, especially for Argentina, because they are still fighting to get into the top four, whereas Italy and Netherlands are relatively safe in there.
Well, that would be critical. If Argentina can overtake Italy, that could be the winning move, not just for this race, but to earn the Argentinians a place in the final four. At the moment, they're just outside. We're looking at one of the Australian boats, but it's Australia 5 that is the one that looks like they might just grab a spot in the final.
And the top three boats have just done their final tack towards the upwind mark. It's still Italy 98, the pair of Gianluigi Ugolini and Maria Giubilei rounding that upwind mark and that spotter mark in first, closely followed by Argentina 29, Matteo Magellani and Eugenia Bosco. And then, very happy to see in third place from the Netherlands, Willemijn Offerman and Scipio Houtman.
And up goes the blue Jenica just out of picture. Round go Argentina. How quickly will their Jenica go up? Very quickly. Good work by Eugenia Bosco.
We got France rounding that top mark in fourth with Australia in fifth. It's really important that Australia keeps this fifth place because that makes sure that they are in the top four. And Argentina only have a shot to get into that final if they manage to overtake Italy. But Italy looks like they've created a great gap towards them, behind them as they're going starboard downwind towards the finish line.
So we're looking at the Dutch, followed by the French, and then just top right of picture, it's the Australians. Oh, look at that big stack for the Netherlands. They managed to hold on to it, but that was a massive pitch pole. And the risk versus reward, that is the game that they're playing right now. How hard do you push? You want to push as hard as you dare, but push too hard and you're going to tip over. You're going to pitch pole.
Whoa, look at the Argentinians. They are definitely pushing. I don't know if they know that they're right on the edge of that red line. They probably do, but they're pushing the boat really hard, sometimes a little bit too hard. You see the French with the blue kite flying towards them as the Argentinians head into a jibe going towards that finish line. Italy have already jibed off. They've managed to stay in between the ley lines, possibly having to do another jibe.
Here goes the Dutch jibe. How will they do? Argentina safely through the jibe, and so are the Dutch now. Look at the size of these waves. And you're looking down the barrel of one of those waves. You surely want to dump the kite. And that's what Scipio Houtman did, but he then sheeted it in, and off the Dutch go again, really taking the edge to the edge of the control. Big lean over by the Argentinians as they surf and foil down these waves, which are just getting bigger and bigger throughout the day and will probably be even bigger for the 4-boat final coming up in a few minutes' time.
And as it looks on the tracker, all of these boats will still have to do a jibe before they reach the finish line. So they're all gunning it there, and they still have a really spicy, scary moment at the end that they're going to need to survive before going through the finish.
Italy on the far side, they've jibed onto starboard. They have possibly done their final manoeuvre of this race, still holding the lead.
As we see Australia doing a big jump with their boat, it even sometimes looks like the breeze has decreased a tiny bit. But
so Australia pushing hard. They've got to keep on pushing. They see the Argentinians ahead of them. I don't know if Australia and Argentina know the points difference between them. They're both pressing the boat as hard as they possibly dare. Argentina is now onto starboard and is about to cross the finish line.
If anything bad happens to Australia now, that's the only shot for Argentina to still make it into the top 4. I don't know if the Australians are aware. They just need to sail the boat conservatively, keep that mast upright, don't dig that bow in. One more jibe into the finish and they're safe.
Here comes Italy across the finish line.
Winning the race, securing their spots easily. They were already in first this morning, but they dominated this race. There was never a chance of anyone overtaking it, proving as the home local favorites training here, doing a great job.
And Dutch are third across the line behind Argentina. So the first 3 are across the line. We're about to see France coming across, and Australia and Great Britain look like they're up to 6 further back. So where are the next boats? Here they come. France about to cross, going away from us, and we're looking at Australia front of picture, just about to go across in 5th place, and we think that will be enough for Australia. Ignore what you see bottom right, because Australia's tracker isn't there, so
Very impressive by these young guns, huh? Doing it. We saw they had a few wobbles, a few crash downs, but in the end they are ripping through this finish line, qualifying for the top 4. In here is also coming John Gimson and Anna Burnet. We know these guys. They are great sailing. They sailed the race nicely, and they're in it, qualifying as 2nd for this last race.
And Gaggle coming across now. Turkey in amongst those, along with Austria and Sweden, but Turkey hasn't quite done enough to get through to the 4-boat final. So well sailed to Sinem Kirkbay and Alushon Kena, but they will end up in the competition in 7th overall.
Well, I'm having quite a lot of fun watching these races. These sailors are certainly not scared. They splash down and they get right back up in the end. I see a lot of funky maneuvers. It's really cool, huh?
I haven't seen the boats leaning over as much as we've seen today, but in this wave state, it seems like they have to do that, and that actually is the safer way to get these boats downhill, even though it looks really precarious.
Yeah, but look at all these splashdowns, and imagine coming into such a splashdown by being so high into the air just before. You really need to trust each other and your material.
Yeah, and the Finns coming across the line there. I mean, they're good sailors, but they're making it look quite difficult there.
And here we have a close-up of the Dutch. For the first time, they are in contention for a medal together with their coach there, Koen de Koning, a former Nacra sailor himself. It's Scipio Willemijn. They're rehydrated, staying very focused. Guys, you can celebrate a little if you hear us. You made it into the top 4.
And these rudder elevators that they have on the back, these T4 rudders, they get them out of trouble more than it appears to be. So if anything, the Nacra 17, although it's got faster, potentially it's also got safer and a little bit easier to sail. But it certainly doesn't look easy.
We also just got a picture from the racecourse showing the Luna Rossa Prada Floredi rib. This is the Italian America's Cup team with Peter Burling aboard. They were watching the races, potentially recruiting new sailors for their team.
Oh, right. Okay. So there's a scouting mission going on for the America's Cup out here as well.
Well, when you look at it, Gianluigi was already in their youth to wear helmets since they're foiling boats. The foils are super sharp. You can imagine if you hit them while the boat is going at a very high speed. That is very dangerous sports, as we see the British here tuning up their boats. They're just like the 49ers. They can put a different tension on their stays with which they can control the mast and then how flat or powerful the mainsail is.
So the British go through in second place, so they have secured a medal, but they will want to improve on that. They will want to try and take the gold medal if they possibly can. And just to remind you that in this 4-boat final, whoever crosses the finish line in first place will receive the gold medal, and then silver and bronze will be awarded in terms of who was ahead of who going into that final race.
Very exciting racing day, huh? Especially with these waves tuning it up, becoming spicier and spicier.
Yeah, I mean, the waves add such a big dimension to the sailing, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And how great that we have this day where the medals get decided at this World Championship.
And this is my 3rd week in Sardinia, and we haven't lost a day of sailing. We've had all our days of racing in the wingfoil worlds, then the Formula Kite worlds, and now here at the 49erFX and Nacra 17 worlds. So we're going to go to a break, and then we'll be back to you to find out who's going to win these medals in the Nacra 17.
Wonderful life.
Four minutes before the start of our final race of our session today, we've had two world titles decided. Both have gone in favour of Spain. Well, Spain can't win this one because they're not in it. We've got Italy, Great Britain, the Netherlands and Australia. So Australia just squeaking through by a point ahead of those Argentinians that pushed so hard. But for the Olympic silver medalists, Magdalena and Bosco, they did all they could, but they didn't quite do enough to get into the final. So well done to Bryn Liddell and Rhiannon Brown. And any one of those four that are in this final can win the gold medal. Whoever crosses the finish line in first place is going to get the gold medal. So we're going to see everyone pull out the stops to see what they can do around this 2-lap race course.
Yeah, and just a quick little rundown. The Italians have already secured silver. They can everybody in this race can only drop at the most one spot. So they've secured silver. The British have secured bronze. The Dutch are in bronze position right now, but can still drop to fourth. And the Australians have nothing in their hands right now. So they have all to risk for, nothing to defend. Do you think they're going to pull a bold move?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are characters I don't know so well, so it's hard to predict. I think it's quite hard to defend in match racing in boats like this. Boats as technical and as quick and difficult to manoeuvre. So I think we're going to have 4 teams pull out all the stops to try and win the gold medal.
Definitely, and we've seen in the last race that the wave state is getting very high, very lumpy waters out there that the sailors have to navigate. So they want to sail their boat as fast as they can, but they also want to go safely around, of course. We've already seen quite a few pitch pulls with boat coming to a full stop while they were foiling. Now, in the pre-start, the boats keep both hulls in the water. They are acting like a normal catamaran with 2 hulls and a trampoline. And once they start, they will get up onto those sails and really ramp up their boat speed.
The other thing to think about is we've seen a windward gate for the 49erFX and the 49er, but we only have a single windward mark for the Nacra 17s. And that, to me, puts a little bit more temptation on doing a port tack start. It's a short course. If you think that you can judge the ley line, and these boats are also pretty slow to tack compared with their forward speed in a straight line, I reckon there's an opportunity for someone to do a port tack start, and if they can get that ley line right on the right hand side, that could be a winning move.
Definitely a port tack start, and then only having to do 1 tack could be a huge advantage. At the moment, I don't see anyone lining up for that. Potentially the Australians will try to pull it off. They're the boat furthest on the left right now. You do see the Italians and the Dutch getting a little bit in a fight already. The British joining the fight. I think this is quite early on. The umpires are right there. The umpires will be judging if someone makes a mistake. Right now, the Dutch are being pushed outside of the starting box by the British and the Italians. They still need to go a lot lower towards that line. And we were just talking about the Australians and if they might pull off a bold move. And I do see them sailing quite fastly here towards the left, setting up for a port tack start with all the other 3 boats setting up for a starboard start. I think it is a good idea to go the other way.
So, as you say, Australia lining up for that port tack start. The Dutch having to make some last-minute moves, trying to claim the spot down to leeward of the Italians. I think that's a very smart bailout by the Dutch.
Yeah, especially you don't want to be pushed out of the start right before here like the British. They don't have a lot of space. They got 9 seconds left to go. Have to pull off a big bearway. 5 seconds. Are the Australians going to try to cross in front? 3, 2, 1. And I think that was a clear start. Let's look at the Australians. It looks like they're going to cross on board, but it's really tight because here's the Italians and the British. Oh, it looks clear from the Italians and clear from the British. They pull it off, and they're the only boat heading out towards the right-hand side, while the others all go through to the left.
Such a brave move. This is how the gold medal was won in the 49erFX by the Spanish earlier. A really brave port tack start, and the Australians passed clear ahead of the Italians, the British and the Dutch. So we are looking at the boat that is currently leading at the moment in these early stages, but they are chancing their arm on the right-hand side, and this is exactly what the Australians should be doing.
Yeah, what a great start, and you definitely need the balls to pull that off. You have to go from full stop to full speed, and that's a lot of acceleration work to do. From the other boats, we have 3 boats going towards the left. The Dutch on the bottom, leading everyone out, with the British and the Italians really close together, and they are used to being close together. They often fight it out for the titles. They have done all year, but this is the all-important title, the World Championships title, and they are looking really fast.
And the Dutch have dropped back somewhat, so this has turned into a 2-horse race on this side between Italy and Great Britain, the 2 training partners that know each other so well. Great Britain in the controlling position.
And if we're looking at the boat speed of the trackers, we do see that the Australians are all of the time going at a higher speed than the boats on this side of the racecourse. Is that because there's more breeze on the right side, or is that because they can sail a clear mode all by themselves? They've just done their tack. It looks like the tack is on ley line, or maybe even above ley line, so they have no more tacking to do. All they can hope for is that the wind stays in their favor, that the wind stays shifted towards the right, and they can go towards the top marks with top speed.
And the other benefit for the Australians is it's slightly flatter water on this side of the racecourse, and that's allowing them to foil more consistently. But at the moment, from that angle, it does look like Great Britain could have a piece of Australia. Maybe Great Britain could get in ahead of Australia. This is looking really, really close right now. And Australia, the other challenge for them is, have they judged this ley line? They can't afford 2 more tacks if they want to hold on to the lead.
Exactly, these Australians have already chosen their ley line, and it does look like they might have tacked a little bit early for that ley line. That puts a favor again on the British and Italians boat, because they only need to do 1 more tack towards the top mark. And you do see all of the boats from the left-hand side of the course crossing in front of Australia. So Australia took a gamble, but it didn't work out. It was the left-hand side that ended up paying yet again.
So it's working in the favour of Great Britain, and the boat that they fear the most is right behind them in their bad air. That's the Italians, Italy 98, but they're breathing right down their necks, so Great Britain can't afford any mistakes here. Dutch have tacked back in from the far side, but they're going to pass behind Great Britain and Italy.
1 more tack until they reach the top mark, and this is a great place for GBR to be in. They judge that ley line just right, tight around this mark, whereas the Dutch are going to have to do 2 more tacks. So that means that the British and the Italians are really flying ahead of the rest of the pack, and that they are the 2 boats fighting for that world title. Remember, it was the Italians going in first into this race, but it's winner takes all. So if GBR manages to stay in front, they're the ones that are going to grab this world title.
Ugolini puts his back foot in the foot loop as Maria Giubilei runs in to get the Jenica hoisted. Big heel over by the Italians.
See the
big lean over.
Foil coming out of the water. They're really pushing hard, but GBR also managed to get that kite up, and look at them go there, really fighting head on. Woo!
Who's going to push hardest? They can't afford to take their foot off the pedal, but they can't afford a pitch pole either.
And whereas in the 49ers and 49erFX, both crew are with their foot in the foot straps, here it's only the skipper, and the crew is completely loose. Crew can have absolutely no fear in this Nacra 17. And the Italians are sailing a beautiful low mode, trying to stop the British from getting a jibe in. Woo! This is head on. Look at them surfing the waves. Every time one surfs a wave, they surge ahead of the other. This is a close battle, and Italy can now start really match racing GBR, pushing GBR over the ley line, because they are the boat with the right of way.
Gimson looking over his shoulder. He's looking back at the Italians a lot. He really wants them to jibe. The Italians are jibing, but they're jibing on their terms, and they are dictating when these 2 boats jibe. Have the Italians taken both boats over the ley line? Is there too much to do?
A better jibe by the British, and that might just be enough so that they can sneak out ahead and keep their clear air, but these boats are pushing it hard with each other. Look at that heel. They're not afraid to be high up in the air. I'm impressed by the British pulling off such a good jibe with so much pressure on it.
And this is where nerves and fitness are going to come in. It's going to be the drop on the Jenica soon between Anna Burnet and Ugolini Giubilei. Who has got the stronger arms at this stage of the race?
And they've got all these hundreds of meters of water, but they're right next to each other as they're both dropping Jenica. Ooh, Italy has a big stop, big crash out, and JBR takes advantage, takes mark, and rounds it very nicely and quickly. Italy take their chances and head towards the other mark. I think smart move, right, from Italy?
Well, I would say so. I mean, why did Britain make it so hard? They did it beautifully, but why do a 180 when you can just do a 90-degree turn? But having said that, I mean, beautifully done. And I think John Gimson and Anna Burnet are thinking tactically. They know how much further ahead they came than Australia by going out to the left-hand side. So they think the left-hand side is going to give them the better breeze going upwind. Italy might as well try something else. Maybe it's because there's less wind on this side. It does look like darker water on the far side.
I tend to agree with you. It does look really breezy on that left-hand side. We see even more caps, even more dark patches of water. And what a redemption this would be for the British pair. They lost out on their medal at the Paris Olympics while they were going into the medal race in second. Now they went into this final race in second again, but they really, really want that world title. They don't want to feel that pain again.
It's attack by the British, and the benefit for them going out this side is they don't really need to judge that ley line particularly accurately. Italy going out to the far side, they need to see if they can one-tack this, and making the judgment call on the ley line, when to make that tack from a long distance out, is really, really hard. So I think things are playing into the hands of the British here.
For now, the Italians are still going at a higher speed, so it's up to Britain to really accelerate that boat after the tack they made.
Now, of these four teams out on the racetrack, it's only the British we're looking at now who have won a world title before. Ugolini and Giubilei would dearly love to win this world title, and there'd be no better place to do it than right here in Cagliari, Sardinia. And now is the moment of truth. They tap back onto a converging course. They were behind the British. They got flatter water this side, but they don't have as much breeze. What's going to be the winning factor here?
I have to say, I think that was the best tack I have seen so far from this fleet. They also had nice flat water to pull it in, but so synchronized, this team. Also in the upwind, we see the skipper with his back foot in that fruit loop. That means that he can stay stable in the boats, steer that boat straight.
The other funny synchronicity between these two teams who train together so much is they're both couples as well.
Yeah, super impressive.
Yeah. So they live their lives together.
Yeah, exactly. And let's hope they're not arguing now, but that they're just going full stream ahead. It does look like the Italians might have made a bit of a jump. This is going to be really close. Has Italy judged the ley line right? The British still need to do a tack. They are in front of the Italians for now, but then they need to tack and judge that ley line right as well.
The pressure is on the British. They've got to make the maneuver. The Italians have done their last tack, and now look how quickly Anna Burnet gets out on the trapeze, but they're not up and foiling yet. Italy pushing.
And they tacked right on top of Italy's face, giving them bad air. Of course they do. This is the boat they're battling. It's not time to be nice. Great positioning by the British pair as they're still in the lead. Can you imagine all those hundreds of meters sailing, and we're right back together here. And actually, the right hand side ended up paying off quite well for the Italians. They definitely catched up after that poor rounding.
Yes, they did, and that closes the gap, and it's almost a copycat of the previous downwind leg with the British going around in the lead, but the Italians will be keen to get that kite hoisted and put the pressure on the British. And the amount of lean always alarms me, but I'm going to have to get used to this. This is what they do.
This is what they do, and they do it very well. Also, a very, very fast reach from the British. Took a little bit of a gain here as the Italians are just getting their spinnaker up. They just need to grab that sheet to fill the kites. Well, these two are a class of their own. Look how far ahead they are of number 3 and number 4. If the British win this world title, it is very well deserved. But the Italians are also a great team, so well deserved from them as well. I could only see this going wrong if the British do a big pitch pull or mess up that final jibe.
Well, now you've said it, Adil.
I'm not jinxing anything. I would love to see some clean sailing around the course.
The Italians really good at finding extra depth, and that's what they need to do, put some pressure on. But the British jibe in the belief that they can get cleanly ahead of the Italians.
And that was a foiling jibe for a very long time, which is just what they needed to get across, because that was a ballsy move, just choosing to go for the jibe instead of waiting for Italy. Now the big question is, have they judged the ley line right, or do they have to do another jibe? Because that opens up a possibility for the Italians.
Anna Burnet keeping that Jenica on the curl. She's not wanting to fully sheet it in. They're just playing it slightly safe. They don't want to stack the boat into the back of a wave.
And remember, everyone, it's winner takes all. So whoever crosses the finish line in first now will be the new world champion in a Nacra 17 class.
Now the question for Gimson and Burnet is, have they done their final jibe, or do they need to do another jibe to get back across the finish, because the Italians are still putting on the pressure.
Oh, it looks like they are bang on. They're going super fast, sailing that boat with a lot of leeward heel, pushing it right until the finish. They cannot relax yet. They really need to keep working.
And we're just moments away from the finish. Have the British done enough? Yes, they have. John Gimson, Anna Burnet take the world title. Look at what it means to John Gimson. It's not his first world title, but wow. Did he want that? Wow. Well sailed by Gimson and Burnet. They resisted the pressure of Ugolini and Giubilei, their training partners who pushed them hard all the way.
And you see the energy, that adrenaline that comes off them. They're smacking each other on the back. They can't really believe it. Finally, they got it. Oh. After an absolutely amazing season from them, they're finishing it off in the best way possible. World Champion 2025.
They've won everything they've done this season. It's been a phenomenal performance for them, and they didn't even take any time off after the last games. I mean, these guys have just kept on pushing, as have Ugolini and Giubilei.
Yeah, look at that. These are our new world champions, John Gimson and Anna Burnet from Great Britain.
So, Gimson and Burnet take the gold. Ugolini and Giubilei take the silver on the home waters in Sardinia, and that means in bronze, the Dutch take the bronze medal. Wilhelmine Offerman and Scipio Houtman, great reward for that young, hard-working team.
Especially proud of this Dutch team. Great sailing by everyone today, I must say. These Nacras are really pushing the limit of what's capable in this boat, and we got to enjoy it today.
And well done to the Australians as well. They pulled off a fantastic port tack start. It was worth taking the risk. It took them to the wrong side of the course, as it turned out. But great sailing by Liddell and Brown to finish fourth at these World Championships.
And how nice to see such a big diversity of nations here in this top 12 at the World Championships, with British pair leading the troops.
And I think it's only Australia that repeats in those top 12. Oh no, two French as well. So yeah, 10 different nations in the top 12.
I have to say, I do feel quite bad for the Italian team. They had their fellow Italians all last quad who they were behind, and they were hoping to finally catch that world title after being second at Europeans and Worlds so many times. It's a second again for them. Great sailing, but I think they will be really gutted.
It's so wavy out there that our man on the water, Fotis, is going to have to wait until we get back into the shelter of Marina Piccola to speak to our new winners, John Gimson and Anna Burnet. So a little short gap before we finally speak to the winning British team. So today we've seen 2 victories for Spain, 1 victory for Great Britain. And Adil, you've been here. You've been here as a mum and supporting your husband in the 49er. He got a silver medal with his teammate and friend Floris van der Werken. What's it like being on the outside or being on the inside, watching on TV? Well, a big round of applause to our drone pilots. I mean, that stuff downwind, watching the battle between Great Britain and Italy, that was sensational.
Definitely. It's really cool. I'm really excited about our sport being broadcasted in this way. It was, of course, a little bit scary testing out these new formats, but I think I can speak for everyone that we have truly deserving champions of the titles. Consistency paid off this week, but we also had a few change-ups, not in 49er, but we did have in the FX and the Nacra. Everybody, it was nail-biting until the very end. So I think it was really exciting, and I hope the sailors feel the same way as well.
Yeah, that was an important stake in the ground today. And actually, it was John Gimson, who we look at there, winner of this world title. People are going to start to think it's an inside job because he designed this format that we've just seen played out. Yeah. But John was very reluctant to come up with any change of the format at all. He wanted to keep the system that we've had for the last 20 years. But the fact is, it doesn't always deliver final day excitement. The sailors are going to have to yield a bit of ground to the demands of the modern Olympics and sudden death, which is what we're told that the Olympics should be about, and increasingly other sports are going that way. But sudden death in 100 meters is a little bit different. You know, that you've got everything within your control in the environment.
Definitely, and we're working with nature here, and even us from the commentary booth, we had all the drone pictures, and we even got it wrong quite a few times which side we thought would be winning. So it's not a racetrack that's always the same. It's ever changing. Sometimes people get a bit lucky, and that's why we have so many days of racing. So the best sailor turns out on top. But great week for everyone. I mean, I loved commentating. I loved talking with you. I'm also really, really keen to get back out there because in conditions like these, that's glamour sailing.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, you haven't got as long a runway as an athlete as you do as a commentator. You can do this for a long, long time. But then again, we've seen 46-year-old Jonas Vara win a bronze medal in the 49er. And John Gimson, he's 42 years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah, time's flying.
Yeah,
so 20 more years in it for me.
Yeah, exactly. But hopefully one day, in a couple of decades' time, you'll come back permanently to commentary. Once you've finally hung up your trapeze harness.
Yeah, maybe. First step is getting the trapeze harness back on. So I hope to do that soon. Not in sunny Sardinia, but in fall in Scheveningen.
Well, if you happen...
Anna Burnet.
Anna, it has been a very demanding week here in Cagliari. You are world champions, but you had this feeling before. It's your second world title. How it feels again? Third, sorry.
A big relief for us. I woke up this morning and I knew we had to get through the first race with the 20 boats, and it was a hard condition to survive in. And then I said to Anna, we just have to give it everything and go for it with this new system. Everything goes out the window. It's not about consistency, it's just about winning the race. So it was really cool. We feel pretty relieved and happy we've done it, and a little sorry for our training partners, the Italians, because they sailed an amazing week.
Yeah, he spoke about the new format. How do you feel about this format? It's a little bit challenging. We've seen some changing, but in the end, you managed to come on top.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think just cutting the whole event down to 3 days, which we kind of did with the way we did the format this week, was enough to make it close enough for a final race showdown. So I don't know if you need the winner across the line, in all honesty, but it was a nice feeling to cross the line first and win. Again, like John, I feel a little sorry for the Italians. They also sailed a fantastic week, but I suppose we executed what we needed to with the format, and we're really happy.
And you had the European title, now it's your world title. It was a very good season for you, I think.
Yeah, I think it's been our best season so far in the Nacra. And just so happy right now.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Almost lost for words, but John Gimson and Anna Burnet, very gracious in victory. Almost felt like they felt guilty about taking the title away from their Italian training partners here in Sardinia.
And they seem to be enjoying it a lot. They said our best season in Nacra so far. That implicates that there's no chance of stopping them yet.
Well, we hope you've really enjoyed these 3 World Championship titles today. It's been an absolute honour to watch the best sailors in the world do what they do best, and also to have one of the best sailors in the world. At the beginning of the day, she was the reigning Olympic champion and the reigning 49erFX World Champion, but never mind, Adil, you are still the reigning Olympic champion and will be for another 3 years. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thanks,
in the
Andy.
commentary.
I had a lot of fun. Thanks everyone for watching also.
Thank you so much, Sardinia, and you have absolutely delivered. We haven't lost a day of sailing here. So from Adil and from me, Andy, that's it from us here in Sardinia. We'll see you next year and see who wins the world titles in 2026.